Next update at 6:10 for the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. There's nasty weather from coast to coast this morning. The East is dealing with frigid temperatures. The Midwest, a winter storm. CBS meteorologist Tony Sadiku is in New York, where it's 17 degrees right now.
Definitely active in the northern tier. Clipper system is going to produce some sloppy weather across the northern plains, all the way into the Midwest. 4 to 8 inches of snow, a possibility. Could cause issues for travel.
An atmospheric river is bringing rain and flood warnings to the Pacific Northwest. President Trump travels to northeastern Pennsylvania today to talk about his $12 billion plan to keep farmers afloat as they deal with fallout from tariffs. Iowa farmer Steve Swenka.
This is the time of year where, having a reliable source of income is pretty important for most producers. So anything the Trump administration can do right now to kind of get us through this time of year will be invaluable.
The plan would be paid for with taxpayer dollars. There's a hearing in Florida today over the president's $10 billion defamation suit against Rupert Murdoch and his publications, dealing with a birthday card featuring the curvy shape of a woman with a suggestive note, allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
A federal judge in Miami is going to hear a motion by the Wall Street Journal to dismiss the defamation action brought by President Trump. Trump sued the Wall Street Journal for an article in which they said Trump had sent a body letter to Jeffrey Epstein on his birthday, and Trump claims he didn't draw the picture or sign it.
CBS News has learned Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio will brief key members of Congress today on the double hit on an alleged drug boat off Venezuela. Columbia Salvari's nephew was one of 2 surviving fishermen killed in the follow-up attack.
But it could be close inside. It could be in Trinidad waters. It could be in Venezuela waters. They was bombed, And then you have no proof of the drugs.
The Archdiocese of New York is looking to negotiate a sex abuse settlement with 1,300 accusers.
Cardinal Timothy Dolan announced the Archdiocese and the accusers have agreed on a mediator, retired California Judge Daniel Buckley, who helped negotiate a settlement between the Archdiocese of Los Angeles and more than 1,000 of its accusers. Cardinal Dolan says his archdiocese hopes to raise at least $300 million for the settlement by cutting its budget by 10% and selling a lot of its real estate assets, including its Manhattan headquarters. A lawyer for 300 of the accusers says it's a step in the right direction. Michael Wallace, CBS News, New York.
This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got cloudy skies, 34 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Formal charges have been filed against the man accused of shooting a Granite City police officer and then trying to hide from investigators, placing town residents on edge Friday. Madison County State's Attorney Tom Haynes says DJ Marshall has a history of criminal activity.
When there are warrants issued, those are the opportunities for the police to then exercise those warrants. And so in this case, the fact that he had multiple warrants meant that the police were on him. They were tracking him, and he was subject to arrest at any time.
Marshall faces a count of attempted murder of a police officer plus other charges. Investigators say he fired multiple shots at Officer Tyler Timmons. The officer was struck twice but survived. The state's attorney says he's hopeful if convicted, Marshall won't ever get out of prison.
The exposure has been evacuated. Primary search of the fire building is negative.
St. Louis Fire Captain Garen Mosby says everyone was able to evacuate a 2-story brick row house. Their concern was that a fire could spread to other homes, but firefighters kept it contained. The cause of the fire unknown.
A St. Louis police officer has been arrested and faces several charges, including burglary, first degree, several counts of harassment, and domestic assault. Internal Affairs conducted the investigation that started with complaints of Terrence Ruffin allegedly assaulting the victim in March. Ruffin and the victim have a child together.
According to the probable cause statement, Ruffin harassed the victim several times. He's also accused of misuse of official information by running a background check on a man who was with the victim. Ruffin has been with the police department for nearly 9 years.
I enjoy serving people in a real tangible way. So when you see the poinsettias in the hallway, I touch them, I help grow them.
That's Stacey Phillips, a recipient of the Guaranteed Basic Income program that former Mayor Tashara Jones has launched. Each participant received $500 monthly. Stacey now works for the city.
This program helped me to put my children in AAU sports. We ran for St. Louis Blues. They run track.
The city says the GBI pilot program improved financial stability, credit, health, and quality of life for participating families. The program has ended, but St. Louis is not closing the door on restarting it.
The Mardi Gras Mayor's Ball will return to City Hall for the first time since COVID hit, and with it comes a new charitable cause.
The city is announcing the funds raised by the Mayor's Ball will go towards the Tornado Impact Fund instead of the usual community improvement grants for Soulard. President of the Mardi Gras Foundation, Mac Bradley, says this decision is backed by Soulard's local leaders.
People in the Soulard neighborhood recognize that the tornado is a once-in-a-generation calamity for the city, and this is our opportunity to do our part. So they were all very supportive.
The Mayor's Ball has generated $650,000 in charitable givings in 24 years. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The Centers for Disease Control reports cases of norovirus have been surging ahead of schedule this year.
Usually these cases spike following Christmas and New Year's. However, this year the CDC reports the number of norovirus cases has already notably increased over this time last year. Norovirus is also known as the winter vomiting disease. It's highly contagious and is responsible for nearly 60% of foodborne illnesses in the U.S. Proper hand washing is one of the keys to prevention. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Correspondent Christian Benavides reports on how medical cannabis can help curb opioid use.
Adults who used medical marijuana for chronic pain under a pharmacist-supervised system were less likely to require prescription opioids. That's according to new research published in JAMA. Researchers studied more than 200 adults receiving treatment for chronic pain over 18 months and found participants who used medical marijuana reduced their morphine dose by 22%. Researchers say these gradual reductions can make managing chronic pain safer and more sustainable.
Well, this programming note, the St. Louis University men's soccer team is in the Final Four, the College Cup. And KMOX will bring you a broadcast of the Billikens' upcoming game Friday night, pregame at 7. SLU takes on North Carolina State in Cary, North Carolina. If they win, the Billikens will play in the national championship on Monday night.
That is really exciting. The Business Desk, sponsored by Krenz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Oberweis Dairy has a new CEO. The dairy business, founded in Illinois in 1927, was acquired by the Hoffman family of companies last year after Oberweis filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Billionaire chairman and Washington, Missouri native David Hoffman has named Renato de Paulus as CEO.
According to the Business Journal, the previous CEO, Adam Kraber, will remain with the company as senior vice president of sales and growth. So far, Hoffman has invested $15 million in store upgrades and $6 million in Oberweis's North Aurora production facility.
It is 6:08, and we'll take a quick break here. We'll come back with traffic and weather. Stay with us on Total Information AM.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
6:10 and time for us to take a look at the roadways. Roger Brand joins us right now from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're looking pretty good out there right now, Debbie. We just have a couple of slow spots. We have a little slowdown westbound on 64, west of Lake St. Louis Boulevard in toward Prospect. That's usually a construction area. And also South 270 is looking a little slow now, south of Olive down through Ladue, and that works. And don't forget, we're going to have overnight restrictions tonight, a longer overnight closure westbound 70 west of Wentzville Parkway. It's going to be 8 p.m. till 9 a.m. tomorrow morning through the morning rush hour. They're going to have, I believe it's the right lane closed there. And tonight is the first of 5 nights actually, through Saturday. They're going to have all lanes of northbound 55 shut down between Z and M. You have to get off at Z and take 61, 67 up to M for that detour. Those closures are shorter, though, 11 p.m. to 4 a.m., I believe. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare with the latest and a little bit of a warm-up today.
Clouds and sun today. It'll be breezy this afternoon, but it's not as cold. High 54. Cloudy and breezy tonight with a late night shower and a low near 40. Then windy and cooler tomorrow. We'll have clouds and sun with a stray flurry. The morning high 44. Then temperatures fall into the 30s. Rather cloudy and chilly. High 40 on Thursday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on 104.1 FM KMOX.
33 degrees in downtown St. Louis right now. Weather sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It is 6:12. There's been a push to get more girls into computer coding, but a cybersecurity expert tells KMOX there is a downside to that.
We believe in 2026, the number of women hackers are going to be doubling next year.
Michael Bremer, Vice President and Head of Global Data Breach Resolution and Consumer Protection for Experian.
Women in cyber fields from 2017 to today have gone from 11% to over 35%.
Bremer says with more cybersecurity degrees being offered in higher education and more women filling roles in cybersecurity, it stands to reason that some would end up on the wrong side of the keyboard. He adds all hackers are rapidly employing AI to defeat security protocols. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Also in the news this morning, a federal judge says President Trump can't arbitrarily cancel wind energy projects. More from CBS correspondent Peter King.
In striking down the president's executive order, the judge says Trump's effort to shut down all leasing of wind farms on federal land and waters was arbitrary and capricious. In plain English, violates the law. The ruling is a win for a coalition of 17 state attorneys general and one from Washington, D.C. Trump issued the executive order the day he was sworn in for a second term. He's criticized wind farms for years, prioritizing fossil fuels to produce electricity instead. Peter King, CBS News.
Officials in Virginia are dealing with a rash of scams targeting families arranging funeral services. In Newport News, one funeral home was targeted by scammers who were able to get specific information about at least 9 families' prearranged funeral plans. We get more details from WTKR-TV's Kelsey Jones.
They was demanding money, telling them that you better have this money in or we're going to send the body back. The state going to take the body back.
Chris Carter, the owner of C.C. Carter Funeral Home, says those words came from a scammer posing as a staff member to get money from vulnerable families.
prey on somebody that lost their mother, that's like the lowest of the low.
It was Monday evening when Alinda Wheeler and her sister got a call from a man pretending to be affiliated with Chris Carter Funeral Home. They didn't think much of it at first because they're in the process of burying their mother, and somehow the imposter knew key details about their prearranged services. Wheeler says the imposter asked for additional payments through Cash App.
56 Jack Buck Awards last night at the Missouri Athletic Club. Among the honorees, the youngest honoree on stage, Maddie DiMaria, the youngest to ever win the Gatorade National Player of the Year. She plays for Koryezu and was honored last night with the Carl O. Bauer Award for Outstanding Achievement in Amateur Athletics.
Thank you for always supporting me and so many young athletes like me. From the fields we grew up on to everyone cheering from the sidelines, this city has helped shape who I am. I'm very proud to represent it. This award isn't just about me. It's about everyone who's been a part of my journey so far. I'm excited about what is to come, and my hope is to inspire younger athletes the way so many others have inspired me. Thank you again to the Missouri Athletic Club, and thank you for all for celebrating what makes sports so great. The joy, the hard work, the teammate, and the teamwork and the heart. All of it for the love of the game. Thank you.
Maddie DiMaria received a standing ovation after her speech last night. As the Missouri Athletic Club honored the recipients, we'll continue to play audio from last night. By the way, her brother Jack plays for St. Louis University, and that men's soccer team will be playing on Friday in Cary, North Carolina against NC State in the College Cup. They have made it to the Final Four of college soccer. They are 2 wins away from a national championship. We will carry that game on Friday night right here on KMOX. We have our eyes on a lot of things. First of all, college basketball. SLU is 30 in the net ratings to start the week in the NCAA. That's their ranking, but in the Atlantic 10, they lead the way. There are a lot of teams in that top 100 out of the A10, but it's something to bear watching is how many will they be able to get into the NCAA tournament. Got to get those net rankings up. Part of the challenge for A10 teams is a lot of the Power Fives don't want to play them. So they continue to, Power Fours, I should say, so they continue to have a struggle there in terms of scheduling. Illinois does not have that problem. They're ranked 13th in the country. They visit Ohio State tonight, a Big Ten matchup for the Illini. Should be a good one. They are a 4-point favorite. You want to watch that one. That one is on Peacock if you have that app. Illinois at Ohio State tonight. SLU plays next on Saturday night when they take on San Francisco. That is a big at-large opportunity for both teams. We'll have it for you Saturday night here on KMOX. Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr. were among those honored last night. The Heisman Trophy finalists have been announced. The honors will be handed out on Saturday in New York. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback for Indiana, is the favorite to win the Heisman. That would be the first in school history. Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, Julian Sayin, the Ohio State quarterback, and St. Louis and Jeremiah Love, the running back for Notre Dame. That completes the finalist list. In the NFL last night, Monday Night Football, Chargers beat the Eagles. Final was 22-19 in overtime. Coming up at 6:45, Matt Pauley from baseball's winter meetings. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX. The Blues play tonight at home against the Boston Bruins at 7.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Warrants reserved.
Staples presents an easy holiday.
My holiday list was a mile long.
Fa la 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 boo hoo hoo.
Staples made it easy with big savings on tech gifts.
I'm listening.
And I saved big on custom holiday cards, too. Plus, Staples has UPS shipping in store.
Holy flying reindeer. Shop Staples today for 50% off custom cards, invites, wrapping paper, labels, stamps, and photo gifts.
That was easy.
In-store and online expires 12/20. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Banner Construction has been in business since 1993, beautifying homes in St. Louis County, St. Charles County, and surrounding cities, as well as serving the Metro East. They don't deal with ordinary. Banner Construction only works with the best premium products. James Hardy Siding, Pella Windows. That means that Banner customers get results that are beautiful, that are long-lasting, that require minimal maintenance. At Banner Construction, they specialize in crafting exceptional living spaces tailored to your needs and dreams. Exterior remodeling is their specialty. They offer a comprehensive suite of exterior remodeling services. They create stunning outdoor living designed to elevate your home and lifestyle. Banner Construction, transforming your home. Go to bannerconstruction.com and you can see everything that they do. Banner Construction, they only use the best. Bannerconstruction.com. Have a banner day.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:20, and that means it's time to check weather and the roadways. Roger Brand starts us off from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's a few more folks on the highways, Debbie, but it's not bad all in all. This traffic reports a service of Ambassadors of Harmony. A little more volume out to the west of us on southbound 61, approaching Highway P about midway down to Wentzville Parkway, or most of the way down, I guess. It's a little slow, and westbound at 64, Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Prospect in the construction area is a little slow as well. But 10 minutes ago, we had a slowdown south 270 coming down through Ladue. That has dissipated. We've picked up a slowdown, though, northbound 55 in that construction zone between Bayless and River to Pear. It's kind of slow there. Illinois side, still light traffic, westbound 55, 70, and 64. No delays headed across the Poplar or Musial Veterans Bridges so far for you this morning. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
See the 5-time International Chorus Champions, Ambassadors of Harmony with the St. Louis Children's Choir and Vocal Spectrum. 4 performances only, December 12th, 13th, and 14th. Book at aoh.org or call 314-516-4949.
It is going to be a nice day today. Enjoy it if you are not a fan of the cold weather, because it's our warmest day that we'll see for at least the next 5 days. 54 degrees will be our high today with clouds, sunshine, and a breezy afternoon. And then we could see some showers in spots late tonight. Tomorrow is going to be much colder. We'll start out tomorrow morning around 44 degrees, but then the temperatures will start to fall tomorrow into the 30s. We could even see a stray flurry tomorrow. Right now, we've got 34 degrees with mostly cloudy skies.
It's 6:22. Last night, Ricky Horton, Cardinals broadcaster, had the opportunity to present his partner, the voice of the Cardinals.
To be able to paint the picture, and nobody does it like our award winner here tonight. So it is very much an honor for me to get a chance to present the award, the Jack Buck Award, to my friend, my teammate, an absolute pro, and the voice of the Cardinals, Mr. John Rennie.
Thank you, Ricky, Mike, Tom, members of the Missouri Athletic Club, and to all in attendance. I'm quite humbled to be receiving this award tonight. I met Jack when I first worked at KMOX in 1980, and I wasn't ready to be at KMOX in 1980, not with all those superstars, but that was a great learning experience. And I spent a lot of time with Jack, working with him at CBS Radio, and listening to Jack MC so many dinners, one of the best ever. In fact, one of the dinners here where you honored Ozzie Smith, and one of my favorite people all time, one of the nicest people, Coach Jim Hannafin, got up and looked at Ozzie Smith and he goes, "Ozzie, I'd love to have your backside," he didn't say backside, "out for football." And Jack looked at him and we're on KMOX, you know. Oh, okay. So he finished up. Jack got up. Jack always listens. "Jim, I've seen Ozzie play, and you'd like to have all of them out for football." Little subtle things that he'd always say. I was standing behind Jack when he made the Ozzie Smith call, go crazy. And I was in the dugout, the A's dugout, getting ready to interview A's players when Kirk Gibson hobbled up to the plate and hit a home run. And in my headset, I heard Jack call it, I can't believe what I just saw. Told my engineer, we need to go over there to the Dodger dugout, interview people over there. But Jack had a way of making the perfect call, the right time, the right place. I always thought he was the gold standard for baseball broadcasting because of his pacing, his sense of humor, because of having that knack of making the great call. And we worked the Earthquake World Series together. I was with Jack and Johnny Bench, and there's a picture in the program that was taken like 5 minutes before the earthquake in 1989 with our engineer, Henry Lenz, with Jack, Johnny, and I think I was all hair first team back then, back when I had some hair color. But we were on for about 35, 40 minutes waiting for Dan Rather to get into the studio in New York. Somehow our phone line stayed connected with New York. And I'll never forget Jack's telling Johnny Bench, Johnny, the way you ran out of here, if you'd run like that when you played, you never would have hit into a double play. And John Rooney, I thought my socks were on too tight. That was an interesting time, but so many interesting times with Jack and doing some fill in for him on Monday Night Football. And I'll tell you, as we're at Thanksgiving and in between Thanksgiving and Christmas now, there are a lot of things I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for that time that I spent here in the early 80s doing Mizzou football and basketball, before that for what is now Learfield, then Missouri Net, and being able to come to St. Louis and to rub elbows and get to know so many of your award winners over the years, and to be able to cover them, to be able to get to know them. I'm thankful for my teammates on the radio. They're here tonight with Mike Claiborne and Ricky Horton, Jim Jackson, Scott Warman's here, Tom Ackerman, and Joe Pott. They host our pregame shows along with Matt Polly, who works with us. They're a great team. They work hard to set the table for Ricky, for me, for Mike, when we get set to do baseball. I'm very thankful for them. And I was thankful for the time that I got to spend sitting behind Dan Kelly and Gus Kyle at the old arena. I'd find ways to get out of the studio when I was just covering sports, and I was like the 10th guy on the sports staff, but I sat behind them, and I was learning hockey at that time, and Mike Liute was having an incredible game. And I hadn't heard the term before, and it's an old term in hockey, but Liute was standing on his head, and he literally was that night. He turned away so many shots, and I thought, what a great description. But I'll say this, when it comes to baseball broadcasting, of being such a big figure in the city of St. Louis, and for being such a great person to me over the years, Jack Buck, when he did anything, he was standing on his head too. Thank you very much. It's an honor I will deeply, deeply appreciate. Thank you.
John Rooney honored last night with the Jack Buck Award, a prestigious award at the Missouri Athletic Club, the 56th Jack Buck Awards last night. We'll have much more coverage as we go along this morning. It's 6:28. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. Our St. Louis Baseball Cardinals reset last season. Now they're planning for the long term. Have you thought about a long-term plan for your family? A will, a trust, powers of attorney? Eamon Gantner and Capriano can guide you with a personalized estate plan. Sign up for our free webinar on our website, yourestateMatters.com. Learn more about estate planning, get some answers, list your questions, then schedule a consultation. You can plan for your family, your favorite charities, taxes, your long-term care, and even your pets now, before the courts do it for you later. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
It is 6:30 and it is Total Information AM. Mostly cloudy, 34 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brandon, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's getting a little bit busier out there, but it's still a pretty good run this morning for you. The sun's not up in your eyes for one thing, but we do have more traffic on northbound 55. A little busy around Butler Hill in the right lanes. We do have a bit of a backup from the Union Road overpass up to about Weber. It is more bumper to bumper through there. It's slower on North 270 as well. Doherty Ferry up to Manchester and around the Clayton Road overpass up to Ladue. South 270, delays we had earlier at Ladue have dissipated. It looks fine. There's a couple spots where it's starting to bog down. Southbound 61, there's a spot midway down briefly between W and P. South of P down onto 64 through Prospect, and westbound 64 from the Boulevard headed out to Prospect doing road work there. So the westbound slowdown is longer than the eastbound one. And on the Illinois side, looks like we're back to seeing some slow traffic. Yesterday afternoon, we had delays through Greenmount on westbound 64, and it looks like this morning, eastbound 64 through Greenmount is starting to bog down a bit in that construction area. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have a nice day actually in store for you, says AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. Not as cold with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Breezy this afternoon and a high of 54 degrees. Tonight, overcast, breezy, a shower in spots late, low 40. And for tomorrow, we drop again. Morning high of 44. Temperatures fall back into the 30s. It's where we are right now, 34 in Florissant, 34 in St. Peters. It's mostly cloudy, 34 downtown at the Arch.
The controversial St. Louis County budget scheduled for discussion this afternoon. We've been reporting on the $80 million deficit. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page wants to ask voters to approve a sales tax and to use the Rams settlement money in the short term. Meanwhile, the county council wants to address their governmental expenditures, saying they have been working with departments on finding ways to be more efficient with their budgets.
After 3 years as chief downtown officer for Greater St. Louis, Inc., Kurt Weigel is out. He is leaving by the end of this year to return to New Orleans. Weigel told the Business Journal last month he's happy with progress downtown, citing a reduction in violent crime and successful activations like the summer concert series in Keener Plaza.
But problems remain, and Weigel has not been a favorite of some members of the downtown business community who cite a lack of action on fixing some of the biggest issues like vacant properties. Weigel was scheduled to speak at a Business Journal event this morning, but they were notified Friday that the new GSL CEO, Ron Kitchens, will speak instead.
A Northern Illinois man faces up to 30 years in prison and $1 million fine after pleading guilty to a bank fraud charge Monday in St. Louis federal court. Prosecutors say 28-year-old Terry Carter Kilgore tried to open fake bank accounts and deposit stolen checks in Florissant, Lee's Summit, and other U.S. locations. The crimes occurred between December 2022 and August 2024.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com at 6:33.
Chris and Amy standing up for the Lou.
We had a texter suggest that we use some of the Rams money to buy a high-rise in Singapore and let it go
and load it up with asbestos and
just let
mold.
that sit there. See how they feel about it.
Let's not be vindictive. No, let's be really vindictive. Screw Singapore if they're going to do this to us.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, taking receipts weekdays at 9 on KMOX.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your holiday with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. For your inner child and your grown-up cravings, the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
It's 6:35. Your Money Minute is sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. After years spent leaning in to get ahead at work, professional women are leaning out. Women are less interested than men in getting promoted to the next level, reversing a decade-long trend. That's according to a new study from leanin.org and consultant McKinsey. 69% of entry-level women are reporting a desire to move up. On the other hand, 80% of men starting their careers are looking for a promotion. Quick check of your money. Traders are holding off on making any big bets ahead of the Federal Reserve's final interest rate decision of the year. A cut is expected when the meeting wraps up tomorrow. Ahead of that, stock index futures are slightly higher. S&P futures are up 5 points. Dow futures rising 25. And Reddit is launching new safety features globally for all those under 18. It includes stricter chat settings and restrictions on personalized advertising. The settings will automatically kick in when the site determines a user is under 18. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It is now 6:36, and yeah, it's cold, it's winter, the holidays are on people's minds. So is it a good time to sell a home? Well, sure, if you have the right agent, you can sell a home whenever. That is what Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty can do for you. You don't have to wait until spring. You don't have to check out what's going on with the economy. When you need to sell a home, what you need is the right agent who can guarantee to sell your home quickly and for the most money. In fact, Gloria will guarantee in writing to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it herself. How can she do it? Well, she has more than 24,000 buyers in waiting, so your home may already be sold. And while an average agent may sell 4 to 5 homes a year, Gloria sells and closes a home sale just about every other day. So if you're ready to just start packing and take some of the stress off your shoulders, call Gloria Liu. Tell her your situation. She can give great advice. She can also tell you what needs to be done to your home to improve its chances. Or she could just take care of everything if you've already had to move out of state. Anyway, just tell her your situation. She'll have a solution at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. Find her online now at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. For 43 days, the left kept the government closed, holding the American people hostage and demanding radical policy changes, including free health care for illegal immigrants. However, thanks to strong Republican leadership, the Senate voted to reopen the government and put America first. I'm thrilled to return to Washington so I can continue to vote to help Missourians, to secure our nation's borders, and to cut wasteful spending. Visit onder.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
This holiday season, when you get them Steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we actually have a bit of a jam now, westbound 64. I talked about the road work going on out west in the Lake St. Louis area. Westbound 64, the left lane's closed, only the right lane's open. It's now a solid jam westbound, approaching 364, most of the way out to Prospect. I saw some flashing lights moving through the jam. Not sure if we have something else in addition to the road work, but it's down to one lane, and that's enough to cause delays, obviously. Now, going the other way, southbound 61, Highway P down to Wentzville Parkway, slow. Then as you cross over onto 64 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard, again, it's slow there, eastbound, eastbound, but it's not a jam. Northbound 55, that is backed up most of the way from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. North 270, slow as you make your way through Gravois. North of 44 to Manchester, Clayton Road up to 64. Those are all a little heavier right now. On the Illinois side, there's a little bit of a slowdown westbound 64 coming through 3rd Street to the Poplar Street Bridge on roadwork delays this morning. Yesterday afternoon, we saw them, and now this morning we're looking at them as well. Eastbound 64 approaching Greenmount Road most of the way into 158. Next update is 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is hiring residential garage door technicians and installers. Apply today, get a call today. Hiring bonus up to $4,000. Benefits include health, dental, vision, and pension. Apply today at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
It is 6:41, time for us to check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Heather Zaire. And Heather, this forecast goes from a nice kind of balmy day today to talk of snow flurries.
That's right. Covering a lot of bases here. We had a lot of high clouds that were around overnight. That helped to keep the temperature from going down, and it actually did go up a little bit. We're continuing to see temperatures rise. At this point, we're heading all the way up to 54 degrees. We are going to see, I think, as the sun is coming up about half an hour or so from now, we're going to see a fairly bright start to the day, but we'll be back and forth between clouds and sun overall. Tonight, then, the clouds win out, and it's going to be breezy with a late night rain shower, lows right around 40. A lot of places just stay dry, and then it's just windy and cooler for tomorrow. We'll have clouds and sun with a stray flurry as we go from a morning high of 44 to temperatures falling through the 30s. Rather cloudy and chilly with a high near 40 on Thursday. We're still near 40 with a chance of a snow shower Friday. It'll stay brisk and chilly, and then much colder for Saturday. Saturday's high only 30 with clouds all day. Right now it's 38 in St. Peters, 37 in Florissant, and 36 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Heather, thank you. Sports coming up in just 2 minutes. Something new for one Metro East County. Madison County residents can now text 911. Examples where this might be used is in a domestic violence situation, an active shooter, or for the hearing impaired. The 911 director says calling is still the best option if you can, but if you need to text, be sure to send the location, type of emergency, and whether anyone is hurt. The system cannot accept pictures or video yet.
On this day, 17 years ago, Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich was arrested on corruption charges. U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald detailed the allegations.
The most cynical behavior in all this, the most appalling, is the fact that Governor Blagojevich tried to sell the appointment to the Senate seat vacated by President-elect Obama. the conduct would make Lincoln roll over in his grave.
After being sentenced to 14 years in prison in 2011, President Trump commuted Blagojevich's sentence in 2020 and then officially pardoned him this year.
Farmers around the country could soon get one-time payments as part of an aid package to offset the president's trade war. Correspondent Bradley Blackburn reports.
The economy takes center stage as President Trump heads to Pennsylvania one day after he announced a $12 billion aid package for farmers hit hard by his tariffs and trade war with China.
This relief will provide much needed certainty to farmers.
The White House says farmers can apply soon for payments that will go out in late February, funded by tariffs revenue.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said on the Senate floor yesterday, quote, a one-time payment for farmers is cold comfort for all the headache and anxiety and losses they've endured because of Donald Trump's trade war.
An update on the Russia-Ukraine war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country will not cede territory to Russia.
Ukraine's leader is visiting Rome as he continues to rally European support for his country, while resisting the US pressure for a painful compromise with Russia. He's meeting Pope Leo XIV and having talks with Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Answering reporters' questions in a WhatsApp chat late Monday, Zelensky reaffirmed his firm refusal to cede any territory, saying that we clearly don't want to give up anything. On Monday, Zelensky held talks in London with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz to strengthen Ukraine's hand amid mounting impatience with President Donald Trump. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
It's 6:45. Let's kick off our coverage from the Major League Baseball winter meetings. And KMOX's Matt Pauley in Orlando.
While the Cardinals might be in a rebuild and are expected to subtract more than they add from the Major League roster, manager Oliver Marmol has not lowered his expectations for the team and says he and President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom are on the same page, even with tough decisions being made that more benefit the club long term.
He's been clear about that, and he stated it well when he said we're not conceding anything in the immediate, but we will make decisions that impact the future more so than just right now. And I love the mentality because you can't lower the standard. If anything, that's something that has to be really on point of continuing to keep a very high standard, but having the right people in the room, not only staff, but players that want to wake up and contribute to that standard and that culture every single day. So I think Chaim's communicated it extremely well, that there's a sense of urgency to all of this. And the better we are at our jobs, the quicker we turn this thing around.
While those subtractions are expected to happen via trade, so far the winter meetings have been very quiet for the entire industry, including the Cardinals. In Orlando, at baseball's winter meetings, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Tickets for opening day go on sale today at noon. It's against the Rays Thursday, March 26th. All the traditional pregame ceremonies, the Ford Truck Motorcade, the Hall of Famers, and the Clydesdales. Last night, another tradition, the Jack Buck Sports Awards, the Missouri Athletic Club, the 56th event started by Jack Buck in 1970. At that point, Jim Hart was a starter in the NFL. He made his debut as a starter in 1967, and last night he received the Bob Plager Legends Award.
And I don't remember what our record was that year. I don't really care. All I remember is I got a chance to play, and Stormy Bidwell was all right. And, you know, he just passed away recently. At how old was he? 90-something? Jackie, do you remember? In his 90s anyway. Well, maybe even older than that, because we're getting closer to 90.
Jim Hart is now 82, just about. He'll turn 82 next year. Jackie Smith, he referred to there, the Hall of Famer, introduced him. It was a great night. Mike Liud introducing Jordan Bennington. We'll hear that next hour. The Sports Personality of the Year, Bob Ramsey, Earl Austin Jr., John Rooney, Matty DiMaria, also honored last night at the MAC. Speaking of football, it was an overtime win for the Chargers over the Eagles, 22-19. The Heisman finalists were announced: Fernando Mendoza, Diego Pavia, and Julian Sayin. Those three quarterbacks are finalists in New York for Indiana, Vanderbilt, and Ohio State. And Jeremiah Love, the St. Louisan, the running back for Notre Dame, is also a finalist. Mendoza is considered the heavy favorite. Blues tonight at home against the Boston Bruins, 7 o'clock face-off. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella window specialist. With winter, now is the time to think about Pella windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction, 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:50 and time for traffic and weather here on Total Information AM for this Tuesday, December 9th. Roger Brand has the latest on your ride in from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it looks like there's some trucks out there now, Debbie, getting barrels picked up, hopefully westbound 64, coming in through Lake St. Louis Boulevard. It's still bumper to bumper from almost 364 through the boulevard. Then it's slow out towards Prospect. Coming the other way, southbound 61 approaching P down onto 64 up through Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Lanes are open, but of course you don't have that left shoulder in the construction area there. And it's also slow from 94 most of the way to the Boone Bridge. Eastbound Highway 70, east of 64 into Bryan Road. There's slower traffic there. Northbound 270, slow from 55 to Tesson Ferry, Gravois to 44, north of 44 to Manchester, and north of there up to Ladue. So it's pretty busy almost the whole way through. Southbound 270, a little slow through 364 and at Ladue. Eastbound 64 at the Interbelt's a little heavy. Northbound 55, a backup from the Union Road overpass to River to Pear. Westbound 64 heavy, 3rd Street to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 backs up approaching Greenmount. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Looks like autumn has arrived, and all fall long, a Metro Transit Day Pass is still just $5, which makes you just one click away from your one-day mental health fall getaway. Plan your trip at metrostlouis.org.
Well, it's going to feel like autumn today with a high of 54 degrees. A nice mild day. Then we get back to the winter-like temperatures as we dip down into the 30s again tomorrow as temperatures fall. We'll get some clouds and sun the next couple of days. Cloudy and chilly Thursday, a high near 40. Friday, cloudy, brisk, and chilly, and a snow shower possible, says Heather Zaire, with a high Friday near 40 degrees. It's 34 downtown at the Arch.
President Trump said he'd be okay with the public seeing the full video of a strike, but then Monday, his answer changed. Illinois Senator and combat war veteran Tammy Duckworth on CNN said she believes the Trump administration is going against the law.
Everything that they've done has been illegal. It's illegal under international law. It's illegal under the Geneva Convention. And it certainly is even illegal under domestic law. It was essentially murder with that double tap strike.
Admiral Frank Bradley told lawmakers the deadly shipment could have easily reached the American border.
The 2 survivors were clinging to half of a boat in the middle of the ocean and had no access to a radio, per the Admiral. briefing. And so, yes, all of it's been the whole operation is illegal to begin with.
CNN reports the vessel planned to meet a larger ship bound for Suriname.
St. Louis native Jasmine Crockett has launched a campaign for U.S. Senate in Texas. The MICDS grad's announcement Monday came after fellow Democrat and former Congressman Colin Allred ended his Senate campaign to run for a House seat.
Texas is critical to Democrats' long-shot hopes of reclaiming a Senate majority in next year's elections, and GOP incumbent John Cornyn is facing the toughest primary race of his 24-year Senate career when he'll go up against Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and two-term Representative Wesley Hunt. Crockett will still face State Representative James Tallarico in the Democratic primary.
Fall enrollment at Missouri universities is down a little this past fall, but community college enrollment is up. The Missouri Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development is reporting enrollment down just about 1%. Technical colleges are up 5%. There's also been a dramatic drop in international students at four-year schools in Missouri, a decline of 32%.
Well, it's surging this year ahead of schedule. Let's call it the winter vomiting disease.
It's called norovirus, and typically these cases spike following Christmas and New Year's. However, this year the CDC reports the number of norovirus cases is already notably increased compared to this time last year. Norovirus is highly contagious and is responsible for nearly 60% of foodborne illnesses in the U.S. Proper hand washing is one of the keys to prevention, as is avoiding raw shellfish, thoroughly washing fruits and vegetables, and carefully cleaning contaminated surfaces. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
The birthday shout out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. If you would like a birthday or anniversary announced during this segment, email it to totalam@kmox.com. totalam@kmox.com. Happy birthday to Michael Blessing from your family, Angie Brakefield from the Lambs, Barbara Mackin, Hank McCoy. Happy 101st to Robert Kobler, World War II Navy vet. Also, Jill Schlesinger having a birthday today. And happy birthday, Carrie Robb, from all your fans at St. Louis County Library.
This is the best birthday ever.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is live here in the Show Me stage, and they're kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. So right now, new customers can bet $5 and then get $300 in bonus bets. Whether you win or lose that initial $5 bet, you get those $300 bonus bets either direction. And it doesn't matter what you're choosing. Whether it's football, basketball, hockey, you can bet it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. I've been on it since the app launched years ago. I just couldn't play in Missouri until now. Now I get to, and you can do. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on the excitement, because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. Remember, 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
I get asked a lot on when's the best time to buy a furnace or an air conditioner, and my response always is, with us, it doesn't really matter. I don't mark your prices up because it's cold or it's hot. But with the tax credit that's expiring at the end of the month of December for 2025 and 0% interest on all of our products right now. So you get 0% through the month of December on the majority of what we offer you, furnaces or air conditioners or both. That's a big savings to you. That makes it really, really affordable, not just because it's Christmas or anything like that. It's just if you can eliminate interest, that's a lot of money a month that you save. So if you're in the need for a furnace or a furnace and air, call me. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. are Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
Roger Brand, you're in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we still have slow traffic southbound 61 north of Highway P down to Wentzville Parkway. It's backed up from there to 64 and on to 64. Still slow to Lake St. Louis Boulevard westbound 64 from 364 out through the boulevard's heavy in the construction area. Eastbound 70 Z to 64 A and O'Brien Road. There's a couple of heavy pockets. Northbound 270 from north of 55 through Gravelway, north of 44 up to Ladou's busy. Eastbound 64 backs up through the 170 area as well. Next update is 710 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Enjoy today if you have not been enjoying the cold weather, because it's going to get up to 54 degrees today with clouds and sun. It'll be a breezy afternoon, but then we'll see a shower in spots late tonight, overnight low of 40. And we could see a stray flurry tomorrow as the temperatures start out around 44 degrees and then fall into the 30s throughout the day. Then it's going to be just near 40 on Thursday.
Radio, I enjoy that a lot. I'm looking at names that I'm forgetting, but I'll end now because it is getting late. And I want to thank you all for this award. Again, I'm not deserving. There are other people that are so. It's longevity more than anything. I've lasted a long time.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Jim Hart, one of the great quarterbacks of all time, honored the Jack Buck Awards. Highlights at 7:15.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
Sponsored by CVS Health.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin with the weather. An atmospheric river is bringing rain and flood warnings to the Pacific Northwest. There's snow in the south, another winter storm in the Midwest, and frigid temperatures in the east. It's costing one family in northeastern Illinois a pretty penny. Correspondent Usher Quarishi.
Parents of four, Luis and Joanna Juarez, say they dread receiving the electric and gas bill for their Chicagoland 1929 home.
I've seen the probably like a 10 to 15% increase depending on the month.
How big of a concern is that for your monthly budget?
Yeah, I mean, everything's going up. So just adding to the bills it's a lot.
We're learning more about President Trump's new $12 billion bailout for American farmers suffering fallout from the trade war. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
Most of that aid is going to cattle, corn, cotton, rice, soybean, and wheat farmers. They've been hit especially hard by the president's tariff policy that's designed to boost American manufacturing production, but has led other countries, especially China, to retaliate by not buying American goods.
Taxpayer dollars will fund that farmer bailout. Luigi Mangione will be back in court for a pretrial hearing. A year to the day he was arrested in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
For the first time, prosecutors are releasing images of what they say was found with Mangione during the arrest, including a 3D printed gun, silencer, bullets, and pages from a notebook that appear to show plans for a getaway and ways to stay undetected.
ICE raids may be keeping more kids from classrooms.
Researchers at UCLA and UC Riverside surveyed more than 600 high school principals across the country. 64% said attendance among students from immigrant families has dropped this year. 34% said those students have been bullied. In Minneapolis, parents like Jen Newberg are patrolling outside schools, ready to record and protest any ICE raids.
I feel that my presence as a neighbor is important, and I want kids to feel safe.
78% of principals said their campuses have created plans to respond to visits from federal agents. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
3 months after he was suspended and apologized over comments about the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
You understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
ABC has renewed Jimmy Kimmel's contract. For a year, President Trump took a swipe of Kimmel ahead of his own hosting gig at last weekend's Kennedy Center honors.
If I can't beat out Jimmy Kimmel in terms of talent, then I don't think I should be president.
In an Instagram post, Kimmel says he is pleased to announce another no talent year. This is CBS News.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
It is 7:04, and right now it is partly cloudy, 33 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We'll get you the forecast from AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. Surprise, we're going to get a bit of a warm-up today into the mid-50s, believe it or not, with some sun this afternoon. Formal charges have been filed against the man accused of shooting a Granite City police officer and then trying to hide from investigators, placing town residents on edge Friday. Madison County State's Attorney Tom Haynes says DJ Marshall has a history of criminal activity.
Warrants issued, those are the opportunities for the police to then exercise those warrants. And so in this case, the fact that he had multiple warrants meant that the police were on him. They were tracking him, and he was subject to arrest at any time.
Marshall faces a count of attempted murder of a police officer plus other charges. Investigators say he fired multiple shots at Officer Tyler Timmons. The officer was struck twice but survived. The state's attorney says he's hopeful if convicted, Marshall won't ever get out of prison.
A Northern Illinois man facing up to 30 years in prison and $1 million fine after pleading guilty to bank fraud charges Monday in St. Louis federal court. Prosecutors say 28-year-old Terry Carter Kilgore tried to open fake bank accounts and deposit stolen checks in Florissant, Lee Summit, and other locations around the country. Those crimes occurred between December 2022 and August 2024.
The city of St. Louis releases details of the Guaranteed Basic Income Program. It was created by former Mayor Tashara Jones. The GBI provided $500 monthly for 18 months. 540 families took part in the pilot program. One of the recipients, Stacy Phillips.
The GBI program was an opportunity to think bigger. I love St. Louis because I was a part of the Run for Women program as well. And so that was the catalyst for me for opening my mind to what is possible and what could be possible.
Families use the payments to meet basic needs and improve stability. While the Guaranteed Basic Income Program has ended, the city is not ruling bringing it back in the future.
The Mardi Gras Mayor's Ball will have a new location and a new charitable cause this year.
The ball is returning to City Hall after spending the last few years in more spacious locations due to COVID. The ball traditionally raises money for Soulard development grants as a thank you for hosting many of the Mardi Gras festivities. This year, Mayor Kara Spencer announces the money raised will go towards a greater cause.
The funds that are going to be raised here at City Hall this year will be donated to the Tornado Impact Fund.
Mayor Spencer, who formerly represented Soulard when she was an alderwoman, says this decision to raise money for tornado disaster relief has the support of Soulard's leaders. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The St. Louis City Police Department's Force Investigations Unit and Accident Reconstruction are investigating Sunday night's deadly police pursuit. The chase was initiated by a North County cooperative police officer who asked for assistance from the city's police department when the suspect crashed at Dr. King and Bird. The car overturned, hit 2 light posts, killing the driver and injuring 2 other people in a parked car. Those adults have non-life-threatening injuries. Police are not saying what led up to the pursuit.
Exciting times at St. Louis University. The men's soccer team in the Final Four. KMOX will bring you a broadcast of the Billikens' upcoming game Friday night. The pregame starts at 7. SLU takes on North Carolina State, and if they win, the Billikens play in the college soccer title match next Monday night.
The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Enterprise Mobility is now in the trucking business. The world's largest rental car company has purchased St. Louis-based Hogan, a commercial trucking and logistics company that has more than 10,000 vehicles in its fleet. The two companies will operate separately, and David and Brian Hogan will remain in leadership roles.
It is 7:08. We'll take a quick break here and come back with a look at your ride in and the weather as well. Today's going to be a pretty nice day. Stay with us at 7:08.
Hey, just check the mail. We've been invited to a seminar and dinner is free.
It's going to be chicken, and it'll taste like Play-Doh.
Don't be fooled. All seminars are not the same. For example, Steve All, an investment advisor representative and founder of the All Financial Group, is hosting a taxes and retirement seminar at his office in Chesterfield on December 10th. Come meet Steve's newest advisor, Tracy Richardson, as she discusses the big beautiful bill, taxes on your Social Security, and more. Tracy will not only cover the hurdles you can face in retirement, but ways to keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. This is a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
You know, hon, I've always been interested in us buying a timeshare.
I'd rather eat Play-Doh.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Warrants reserved.
Staples presents an easy holiday.
My holiday list was a mile long.
Fa la 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 boo hoo hoo.
Staples made it easy with big savings on tech gifts.
I'm listening.
And I saved big on custom holiday cards, too. Plus, Staples has UPS shipping in store.
Holy flying reindeer. Shop Staples today for 50% off custom cards, invites, wrapping paper, labels, stamps, and photo gifts.
That was easy.
In-store and online expires 12/20. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's see what's going on in Roger Brand's world, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got some trouble in the Richmond Heights area right now. Tom, I mentioned the jam at the top of the hour. The reason being is there's a crash in the left lane, eastbound 64, between Big Bend and Bellevue there. Eastbound 64 is jammed back to about McKnight. Now, other delays on eastbound 64 will actually begin southbound 61. You've got a backup at Highway P for a brief duration. Then it's slow down onto 64 through the boulevard. 94 most of the way to Boone Bridge is busy. And then you've got this jam, like I said, McKnight in through the Bellevue area. Eastbound Highway 70, you're slow from about Highway A into Lake St. Louis Boulevard. After that, it's not so bad. Northbound 270 bogs down 55 through Gravois, north of Big Bend all the way up to Ladue. Northbound 55, a little heavy into 67. Slow stuff from Bayless up to River to Pear. Downtown westbound 64, west of 3rd Street to the Poplars, heavy. And you have a roadwork backup eastbound 64 between 50 and Greenmount right now. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, not as cold today. We'll have intervals of clouds and sun with a breezy afternoon at a high of 54. Cloudy and breezy tonight, a spotty late night shower with a low of 40. Then windy and cooler with clouds and sun tomorrow, a stray flurry. The morning high 44, then temperatures fall into the 30s. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it's partly cloudy, 33 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
And the news continues at 7:12. St. Louis Public Library will end its hotspot program soon. The library made 12,000 hotspots available to people, which can be used for internet access on up to a dozen pieces of equipment in someone's home, and was seen as a way to bridge the digital divide. However, a loss of federal funding is leading to the phase out of the program, which cost about $4 million.
The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra has a list of holiday concerts, including Home Alone. The orchestra will play the music of the movie while the movie is shown on the big screen over the stage. Thomas Yostlein is associate principal horn player.
And this score is by John Williams. This is not just a run-of-the-mill Hollywood whoever guy filling in the space. So when you play it, you recognize the quality.
That show, Home Alone, is the 27th and 28th. This week, the symphony is preparing to perform Handel's Messiah.
The Archdiocese of New York is looking to negotiate a sex abuse settlement with 1,300 accusers.
Cardinal Timothy Dolan announced the Archdiocese and the accusers have agreed on a mediator. Retired California Judge Daniel Buckley who helped negotiate a settlement between the Archdiocese of Los Angeles and more than 1,000 of its accusers. Cardinal Dolan says his archdiocese hopes to raise at least $300 million for the settlement by cutting its budget by 10% and selling a lot of its real estate assets, including its Manhattan headquarters. A lawyer for 300 of the accusers says it's a step in the right direction. Michael Wallace, CBS News, New York.
The Archdiocese of New Orleans announced it will pay at least $230 million to hundreds of abuse survivors as part of a settlement approved by a bankruptcy judge.
A court hearing continues over evidence in the case against Luigi Mangione, the man accused of murdering healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Prosecutors released new images of what they say was found when Mangione was arrested after a multi-day manhunt exactly 1 year ago today. We get more from Bradley Blackburn.
For the first time, prosecutors are releasing images of what they say was found with Mangione during the arrest, including a 3D printed gun, silencer, bullets, and pages from a notebook that appear to show plans for a getaway and ways to stay undetected. In court, a police officer testified that they searched Mangione's belongings only after he was under arrest and wanted to make sure he didn't have a bomb. But Mangione's attorneys argue police should have had a search warrant and say he wasn't read his Miranda rights before he was questioned. They want the evidence excluded from the state trial.
One of those notebook pages reportedly contained a list of cities, including St. Louis. Also on there were the likes of Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. It's not clear why Mangione wrote those cities down.
It's 7:15. Let's go back to Jim Hart. Here's an example of a quarterback who could not take his team to a Super Bowl, didn't have the playoff success of some others. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He tells a story about Cliff Harris, who is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the outstanding Cowboys safety. He always had to account for Harris, who tried to hide from him at one point right before he took the snap behind that outstanding offensive line. He takes us to the line of scrimmage.
And he wasn't back there. And I looked down between Leroy's legs, and there's another pair of legs. So I go, oh, I guess that's Cliff. And we had a rhythmical count back then. So it was green 10, hut 1, hut 2, hut 3. I mean, just in that order. You weren't supposed to stop in the middle. But I went green 10, and I didn't see him. And I go, okay, green 10. And now I stop, and I see his feet down there, and the linemen are going crazy. They're breaking their knuckles like that because they're anticipating the snap count, hut 1, hut. And I probably Dan was saying, call it. So and about that, I didn't call it right away because I wondered, I've got to know where Charlie is. So, or Cliff. And about the time I went like this to see where he was, Cliff came out the other side like this. And I mean, here we are in the National Football League on national television, and we're playing, footsie with him. And that last time, as we looked at each other, he goes, I love you. I swear to God, that's what he said.
Jim Hart, the winner of the Bob Plager Legends Award last night at the Jack Buck Sports Awards, the Missouri Athletic Club. Other winners, Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr., John Rooney, Maddie DiMaria, the National Player of the Year in girls soccer, and Jordan Bennington, Blues goaltender, Sports Personality of the Year. You'll hear from Benner coming up at 7:22. Speaking of Jim Hart in the NFL last night, not the prettiest of games, but the Chargers got it done in overtime. They beat the Eagles 22-19. The Eagles have lost 3 in a row, but they still lead the Cowboys in the NFC East. Heisman Trophy finalists announced yesterday. They'll be awarded on Saturday in New York. One of them will. And the heavy favorite is Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza, Julian Sayin, the Ohio State quarterback, freshman. Also, Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, and St. Louis and Jeremiah Love, the CBC product, the running back for Notre Dame. As Debbie mentioned earlier, college soccer, we're excited to bring the broadcast to you. It'll be St. Louis University against NC State this Friday night in the semifinals of the College Cup. They're down to 4 teams. SLU is 2 wins away from its 11th national championship. College basketball tonight, Illinois with a big game. That one is going to be on Peacock if you want to catch it. The Illini at Ohio State. And hockey tonight at Enterprise Center. It's the Blues and the Boston Bruins. Jordan Bennington in 4 minutes. On the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
The KMOX Holiday Show.
There, for a smile on your face.
Did you ever hear on KMOX radio a fellow say, that means I'm Bob Hamilton. And he is our narrator. And here he is right here. Here's Bob Hamilton.
Well, our story begins at the Christmas Mall, a busy place wrapped up in tinsel and flashing lights. Children, looking for the meaning of it all, get in line to see Santa. Why, there's Santa now!
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX. The voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by the Polar Express at St. Louis Union Station. Get your tickets now at stlpolarexpressride.com.
It's not too late. The Polar Express is here through December 30th. Begin your journey at St. Louis Union Station Train Park, where you will meet the conductor inviting you to board the Polar Express train ride. Meet Santa Claus and his elves, interact with the Polar Express characters, and see St. Louis from 200 feet up and feel the magic of the Christmas story everybody loves. The Polar Express at Union Station. Book your trip at stlpolarexpressride.com. All aboard the Polar Express.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband. This is the season of joy, and it's time that your internet provides that for you. Other service providers will tell you that their internet is fiber powered. That's different than i3 that delivers true fiber internet into your home. It's so reliable, the pricing is crazy, and they give you a 2-year price lock with zero commitment. i3 is your hometown local internet provider, here for you for every way you celebrate the season. Head to i3broadband.com/radio or call 877-976-0711.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7:20. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Tom Ackerman and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news, Debbie, on eastbound 64. They cleared that crash we had between Big Bend and Bellevue. Now, if you're coming in from out west, southbound 61 is still slow from P down on through to Wentzville Parkway, where it backs up to 64. Then it's slow from there to the Boulevard. East of 94 to the Boone Bridge, it's a little heavy. Clarkson into Timberlake, and then a jam east of Lindbergh, but it opens up at 170 now because, like I said, they cleared the crash before Bellevue. It impacted South 170, slow from Ladue down to 64. Westbound 64, Hampton, headed out through that Bellevue area is kind of busy. North 270 backs up as you ramp on from 55 to Tesson Ferry. From there, it's slow through Gravois, north of 44 up to Ladue after that. Northbound 55 delays into 67. The right lanes are busy north of Butler Hill. It backs up from the Union Road overpass to Weber, but slow north of there to Virginia. Northbound Telegraph, north of Herb up through Pottle looks pretty busy downtown. Westbound 64 from the 70 split to the Poplar slow, and eastbound 64 is on the brakes from 50 through Greenmount Road. Next update is 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Roger, we've got a good weather forecast from AccuWeather's Heather Zaire. Not as cold, lots of sun, breezy this afternoon, a high of 54 degrees, overcast, breezy with a shower in spots late, low 40. Then tomorrow, windy and cooler, times of clouds and sun, a stray flurry, morning high 44. Temperatures will fall into the 30s and a high near 40 tomorrow, says Heather. Currently, we're looking at 34 degrees downtown. Weather sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win, so what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. Getting a lot of text messages from people who attended last night at the Jack Buck Sports Awards that are loving hearing it again as we replay some of the great moments of that traditional night at the Missouri Athletic Club. You can only win the Sports Personality of the Year one time. They only give it out once. No multiple winners. Jordan Bennington had his moment last night, honored for not only the Four Nations face-off win for Canada and leading the Blues to the playoffs this past season, but for passing Mike Liut for most wins, most games played as a Blues goaltender. Liut was his presenter last night. He's also Bennington's agent. So Benner had a little fun with him.
Thank you. That's a big trophy.
Yeah, we just mentioned Charles Glenn. I don't know if he's still here or not, but just hearing him sing that anthem, I caught myself halfway through thinking my equipment was on and I had to go play a game. After it was done, it was he's just so good at it, and every time it just gets you. I think, Senior, you probably recognize that too. But yeah, thanks guys, thanks everyone. Good to see you, Mike. Thank you for the sweet introduction there. Who better, than a man being my agent since I was 15 years old, a St. Louis Blues legend. Obviously just a tremendous career here, and someone who I just seem to keep leapfrogging in all the records here. But truly, so many lessons learned just in the personal time with Mike, and that just wisdom is so important in life, and I'm just learning that more and more as I get older. Yeah, personality of the year. When I first got the text of this award, I thought, wow, I'm glad someone understands my humor. And I was hoping to put this trophy here next to Ovechkin's 900th goal puck, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's truly, I'm very honored to be listed with the names of a recipient of this award, and the honor it comes with. Just being in St. Louis here has been such a great experience for me. Thinking back on my journey so far here, I feel like I came into the team at such a good time where the culture was so strong. You could tell that the ownership does such a great job taking care of its players. The players care for each other, and I had great leaders like Jake Allen, Jay Bomeister, Alex Dean, who's here tonight. Thanks for coming. And I just feel like I was very grateful to come in at that time and understand what it means to be a St. Louis Blue, be a member of the city. The character comes with the people. I've been here for 8 years now with my beautiful wife, and we're so happy to start our family here, and it's been very special. What else do I want to talk about, babe? Yeah, I guess I'll just. Oh yeah, okay. My goalie coach. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Just along the way, meeting people like that and understanding how much coaching comes into you as an athlete, and being with your coach every single day. Just getting to understand you and build that trust and respect. And it's been a pleasure working with you, and just day by day we're doing our thing. So thank you very much for that. And to the MAC, I'm truly honored. Thank you for having me. This is obviously a historic club in St. Louis, with a lot of history, and it means a lot to just be here, and thinking of Jack Buck and hearing what people have to say about him tonight. I just really hope to carry that character he has, and really represent what it means to be a member of the St. Louis Blues, a person that lives in St. Louis, and the people and character in here. And I hope to continue to carry that as I go here. So thanks everyone so much. I appreciate it.
Sports Personality of the Year, Jordan Bennington at the Missouri Athletic Club last night. The Blues play tonight. They take on the Boston Bruins at Enterprise Center. Face-off is 7 o'clock. Blues have won back-to-back games, and they're 2 points out of a playoff spot in the Western Conference. I'm Tom Ackerman. It is 7:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer, or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
This is Justin Brown with Prince Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. As retirement approaches, one question matters most. How will you replace your paycheck? With decades of experience, we've helped retirees turn uncertainty into clarity through personalized income planning and steady guidance. Our proactive strategies are designed so you can enjoy the retirement you worked your lifetime for, with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is our broker-dealer.
It is 7:30, and right now we've got mostly sunny skies in downtown St. Louis, 33 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's busy out there, and we have a new crash. It looks minor, though. It's on eastbound Highway 70 right at Highway K. It's partially in the left lane. Folks are sort of getting around it, but you have to get out of the lane a little bit, so they'll probably block the left lane when police show up. Eastbound 70 is slow Wentzville Parkway into 64, and then you're bogged down from Lake St. Louis Boulevard up to that crash of K, but it remains busy east of there up to almost 79, and again from 370 most of the way to 94 after that as well. Southbound 61 Highway P down onto 64 to the Boulevard is slow. 94 through to the Boone Bridge is heavy. Coming out of the valley through the Chesterfield Parkways to almost Timberlake, and then pockets from Lindbergh to 170. South 170 is slow at Delmar. Westbound 64 from the Science Center headed out through Bellevue is heavy. North 270, still a jam ramping on from 55 most of the way to Tesson Ferry. Busy midway up through Gravois to 44, and then Big Bend all the way to Ladue is off the pace. Northbound 55, north of 61 into 67 is heavy. The right lane's back up approaching Butler Hill and approaching Revis Barracks all the way up through Virginia. There's volume 64. Ball Avenue to the Poplars heavier. Eastbound 64 jams approaching 50 past Green Mound. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Not as cold today. We're going to have clouds and sun. It'll be a breezy afternoon, a high of 54 degrees, but then a shower in spots late tonight. And tomorrow it'll be windy and cooler with sun and clouds and maybe a stray flurry. We'll start out tomorrow with a temperature of 44 degrees, but it'll start falling throughout the day into the 30s. That's where we are now. It's 33 degrees.
Fairview Heights police are trying to locate a man wanted in connection with the May 2024 death of his 3-month-old son. They say 24-year-old Shannon Williams Jr. faces a Class 3 felony charge of child endangerment causing death. Investigators determined Williams Jr.'s son died from exposure to methamphetamine.
Local hunters helped sink a contract between Wildwood and deer management company White Buffalo. That $224,000 contract would have had White Buffalo cull the deer herd in Wildwood by up to 239 deer, But according to Fox 2, hunters complained about being sidelined, saying the hunting community is capable of managing the growing herd on its own and would do it at no cost.
They can be here not just for a weekend, but they can be here 4 months a year, hunting every day.
The contract bill failed to pass by 1 vote.
The Mardi Gras Mayor's Ball will raise funds for the Tornado Impact Fund this year. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer says this decision comes from the Mardi Gras organizers, but is backed by Soulard's leaders.
Vision really driven by Mardi Gras Inc. The folks brought it to me, brought it to the neighborhood. There wasn't a single question involved. The neighborhood was supportive. Of course, I'm supportive. We're all very supportive.
Funds raised by the ball traditionally go towards community development grants for the Soulard neighborhood as a thank you for hosting many of the festivities. The ball is also returning to City Hall for the first time since the pandemic moved it to more spacious locations.
Nikki Glazer says she is genuinely excited for 2026, especially returning for her second year hosting the Golden Globes. The St. Louis County native predicts the upcoming year will be a busy one.
2026 for me is getting into the movie space. I'm hosting the Golden Globes again, of course. I just wrote a song for my special that's coming out next year. And so I'm just like trying to do new things that still like make me nervous. I think that's like what keeps me going is like feeling like, can I do this? Am I a fraud? And I feel like energized by that.
It's 7:34 and your Money Minute is next. The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here for the Dave Glover Show. So what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life, not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
It is 7:36. This is Total Information AM and time for your money report from Bloomberg, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Shares of Apple were battered earlier this year as the iPhone maker faced repeated complaints about its lack of an artificial intelligence strategy. What a reversal since the summer. The stock has soared 35% since the end of June. Wall Street has noted that Apple has kept its spending on artificial intelligence in control compared to rivals. Checking in on the market, stocks are holding steady this morning. Traders are holding back ahead of the Federal Reserve's rate decision tomorrow. The central bank is expected to deliver a 1/4-point interest rate cut. And shares of luxury home builder Toll Brothers is lower in early trading. The company gave a full-year financial forecast that came in well below Wall Street expectations. Toll Brothers says it's seeing soft demand across many of its markets. Builders have been leaning more heavily on incentives to attract buyers to its homes. Some of the perks include free appliances, finished basements, and zero closing costs. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
The best of Broadway right here in St. Louis. Muni season tickets are on sale now, just in time for the holidays. Our 2026 season includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. See all 7 shows starting at just $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
This is Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. As the year comes to a close, I want to thank our clients, colleagues, and communities for your trust and support. We're especially proud of the Stifel U.S. ski team. Their drive, resilience, and pursuit of their goals this winter reminds us what's possible when we stay committed. From all of us at Stifel, we wish you and your family a joyful holiday season and a new year filled with health, happiness, and success. Stifel, where success meets success.
7:40, time to check traffic and weather. You might need the sunglasses on your way out the door, just FYI. Let's get the latest from Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, lots of slow going, Debbie. Southbound 61 from Highway P down onto 64 to 364 is heavy. A little slowdown east of Winghaven, east of 94 to the Boone Bridge, east of Boone's Crossing to Clarkson. That's more of a backup. And then it's slow again from Spady all the way through the Interbelt. The Interbelt southbound from about the Woodson Overpass down to 64 is pretty busy. Westbound 64 Science Center headed out through Bellevue, Lindbergh out to Ballas is a little slow. Eastbound 70 coming in through Wentzville Parkway to 64 is heavy. They cleared that crash at K quickly, thankfully. Back up Lake St. Louis most of the way into K. It's slow again from 370 most of the way to 94 and a little busy coming in east of the Rock Road headed in through Cypress. Southbound 79 Old Monroe, heavy pockets down into the St. Paul area. It opens up before you get to North Main Street. If you're on northbound 270, still backed up from 55 to Tesson Ferry, but slow all the way to Ladue. Northbound 55, north of 61 into 67. The right lanes at Butler Hill. A slowdown through Green Park, jammed north of Rivas. Pockets all the way up through Virginia. And on the Illinois side, 5570 at Exchange, 64 at Ball to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 jams approaching 50 past Greenmount. Next update is 750 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo at Hannaford. It's got twang.
All right, AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare. I'm putting up the last of the Christmas lights today because, as you told me, this is my day to do it.
Yeah, this is definitely when you're going to want to get out to take care of that, because it's not going to be so great if you're trying not to, freeze in the process over the coming days. Here for today, we are headed up to 54 degrees. That is the warmest we've been in a while. We'll have clouds and sun, so it's a dry day as well. A little bit breezy this afternoon, so you want to keep that in mind. Otherwise, just a nice day today. We do have cloudy skies for tonight, still a bit breezy with a low of 40. There'll even be a rain shower in some places later late at night. That's going to turn over to just a stray flurry for tomorrow as we have a morning high of 44 before temperatures fall into the 30s again. So it's windy and colder despite some sun. Rather cloudy and chilly with a high near 40 on Thursday. There can be a snow shower chance to go along with that high of 40 on Friday. It's still mostly cloudy on Saturday, but it's also a whole lot colder. The high for Saturday, only 30 degrees. Right now it's 38 in St. Peters, 37 in Florissant, 36 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:43. President Trump announcing a massive bailout for American farmers who have been suffering under his global trade war. $12 billion of taxpayer money will be used to keep farmers afloat after the president's tariff policies dried up overseas business. We get more from CBS's senior White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe.
That aid is going to cattle, corn, cotton, rice, soybean, and wheat farmers. They've been hit especially hard by the president's tariff policy that's designed to boost American manufacturing production, but has led other countries, especially China, to retaliate by not buying American goods. The president insists China and Japan are now on track to buy tens of billions of dollars in soybeans in the coming years. There have been concerns that those purchases aren't moving fast enough for that key American crop to turn a profit.
A Catholic church in Boston and its pastor are taking a stand against ICE raids with the nativity scene missing Mary, Joseph, and a baby Jesus. A big sign taped to the glass says ICE was here. The archdiocese there is pressuring the pastor to remove the message as parishioners debate the scene. WBZ reporter Paul Burton with more.
Despite mounting pressure from the Archdiocese of Boston to remove the sign, saying the display goes against church norms around sacred objects, Father Gisoma has kept the ICE was here nativity scene up in front of his church for the past week and a half, sparking a lot of debate. Jamie McDonald from West Roxbury lives nearby and wanted to come by and see it.
What would Jesus do? He would support the parish here in maintaining this nativity scene.
The Archdiocese of Boston is both Father Gisoma's employer and his landlord. So I can't imagine there's any other outcome in the long run other than the sign coming down. If he wishes to be defiant, I think he'd be forfeiting his career as a priest.
That is C.J. Doyle of the Catholic Action League of Massachusetts, which is calling for the display to be changed.
It is 7:45.
St. Louis University men's soccer. They are getting ready to head to North Carolina. They'll be leaving tomorrow for their trip to the College Cup, and we are proud to announce that KMOX will broadcast men's soccer. When's the last time we did that? The Final Four of college soccer, and we will have the broadcast on Friday night. SLU is 2 wins away from an 11th national championship. Not only will we have that, but on Saturday night, we will have St. Louis University basketball. The Billikens taking on San Francisco. And last night at the 56th Jack Buck Sports Awards, honoree Earl Austin Jr. delivered this message to the crowd.
St. Louis U, the Billikens this year, we've been playing against some solid crowds, about 6, 7, 8,000. But that I feel that same excitement is happening again with Coach Josh Schertz and his Billikens. We're currently 8-1, but it's how it's happening. We're playing winning basketball, but we're playing a very fast, exciting style of basketball. If you like teams that shoot a lot of three-pointers, who pass the ball, who play team basketball together, who work, but not only do that, they work hard, they grind, they play for each other, they're physical, and they're hard-working teams. So they cover all the elements. And if you like Showtime, if you saw the game last night, we scored 107. We had threes, we had dunks, we had all kinds of stuff happening. That should be your cue to get a friend and get your behinds to the Chaffetz Arena the rest of the season, because it's getting ready to take off, folks.
You heard what he said. Earl Austin Jr., one of the honorees last night, along with Bob Ramsey. They received the Burns Bragg Award for their outstanding promotion of St. Louis through sports. The Jack Buck Award went to the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney. The Bob Plager Legends Award to the legendary quarterback, Jim Hart of the Big Red. He was there last night. Maddie DiMaria, the National Player of the Year, the Koryezu soccer star, and Jordan Bennington, the Blues goaltender, received the Sports Personality of the Year award. Thanks to all for last night's Jack Buck Sports Awards at the Missouri Athletic Club. The Blues are playing tonight. They're taking on the Boston Bruins at Enterprise Center. It's a 7 o'clock face-off. Monday Night Football last night. Chargers beat the Eagles 22-19 in overtime. Heisman Trophy finalists were announced, and a St. Louisan is on the list. CBC's Jeremiah Love, the Notre Dame running back, is one of 4 finalists headed to New York. Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, Julian Sayin, Ohio State quarterback, and the favorite to win it, Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Pelicans, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Let's get the latest now from KMOX's Matt Pauley on the winter meetings. He is there for the radio station, and certainly it's an exciting time for everybody in the baseball world. But are the Cardinals going to make any moves? We get the latest from Matt on that.
It was a quiet first day of the winter meetings for every team in baseball, including the Cardinals. Even though there might not be a transaction to report, President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom says every member of the club can be doing things every day to make the team better.
Today's the day. It's December, right? We're not playing a game today, but there's a lot of work we can do. I think that doesn't apply just to me or even just to our crew here in Orlando. Everybody who works for this organization, at least I can only speak for baseball operations, but there's something we can all do today to get us a little bit closer to where we want to be. And even when we are planning long term, we have to attack each day with that in mind. So when we do our work here today, when we're having conversations, when we're deep diving on players that we might look at, like we gotta attack that with a sense of urgency, because you never know what could happen today that might be really, really important to us accomplishing our goals, whether it's in 2026 or beyond.
The draft lottery will be held today. The Cardinals have a 2.35% chance of landing the overall number 1 pick. In Orlando at baseball's winter meetings, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Christmas has arrived at Chesterfield Valley Nursery with hundreds of Christmas trees and our winter greens. Visit our garden center for your live holiday decor, from garland to poinsettias to custom live wreaths made right here at Chesterfield Valley Nursery. Open to the public, everyone is welcome. Stop by 16825 North Outer 40 Road in Chesterfield, directly past the popular entertainment district. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com.
Winter Wonderland, presented by St. Louis County Parks and Recreation at Tillis Park, is now open through January 3rd. Enjoy more than 1 million dazzling lights with holiday characters and festive scenes. Whether you're carrying on a family tradition or starting a new one, you'll never see anything like Winter Wonderland at Tillis Park. Happy holidays from Kirkwood Fence, Tully Tire, Washington University Orthopedics, Restoration One, and Happy Roof. More info at KMOX.com.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
Hey, it is 7:52. Let's get you updated on your ride in from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Here's Roger Brand.
Well, we still got slow traffic, Debbie, on southbound 79 Dyer Road down to Hackman. Some of it's backed up, but mostly just slow. Southbound 61P down onto 64, backed up on 64 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Approaching Winghaven midway into Kays, slow approaching the Boone Bridge. It's heavy east of Boone's Crossing through Clarkson. A couple of heavy spots in Spady and through the Innerbelt. The Innerbelt bogs down at Page, down through Delmar, and then the Parkway to 64. Westbound 64 jam, Science Center, headed out through Bellevue. South 270 364 down to Ladue is busy. North 270 is your ramp on for 55 all the way to Ladue is heavy. 44 Lindbergh through Barry Road. I'm seeing heavy traffic. Northbound 55, the right lane still bogged down at Butler Hill. All lanes, Green Park to Revis, north of Revis, up to River to Pear, jammed, and it's still slow past Virginia. 44 past 55, out on the westbound 70 downtown delays. 55, 70, and at 203, 64 at bogged down to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 approaching 50 through Greenmount is backed up. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Roger, we're going to get a high of 54 today. Sun and some breeze. Overcast tonight. A shower in spots late. Low 40. Maybe a stray flurry tomorrow. Otherwise, temperatures dropping into the 30s. It's 34 right now.
The news continues at 7:53. Former St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner has a disciplinary hearing today and could lose her law license. Gardner is accused of violating state and federal law during her time in office. She admitted to using public money to pay herself back for a $5,000 fine. She was elected in 2016 and resigned in 2023.
A federal judge will not support Missouri's Republican leaders to block a statewide vote on rewriting congressional districts. The Missouri Independent reports that U.S. District Judge Zachary Bluestone ruled he had no jurisdiction over the lawsuit brought on behalf of Secretary of State Denny Hoskins in the General Assembly, claiming the U.S. Constitution bars state referendums on congressional district plans.
This follows a 3-hour trial on Monday in Cole County Circuit Judge Christopher Limbaugh's court. At issue was when a referendum petition drive can start, and once petitions are submitted, which signatures should be counted. The redistricting bill is supposed to take effect this Thursday.
St. Louis native and Dallas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett made her case for why Texans should elect her to be the state's next U.S. Senator.
Texas tough is Crockett's campaign theme. She joined the Senate race talking about what she's done with.
I'm done watching the American dream on life support while Trump tries to pull the plug. The gloves have been off and now I'm jumping into the ring.
Crockett calls herself a fighter for the middle class with a message for President Trump and the Republicans.
Don't count us out. It's our time. We are one.
Crockett faces State Rep James Tallarico in the Democratic primary. The last time Texas elected a Democrat to the Senate was 1988. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
Someone dropped a delivery of steak, crab legs, and marijuana from a drone into a prison yard in South Carolina.
Guards at the Lee Correctional Institution spotted the drop and seized the contraband. The steak and crab legs were still in their grocery store packaging. There were also plastic baggies of pot and 2 cartons of cigarettes. The South Carolina Department of Corrections posted a photo of the loot on social media with the hashtag Contraband Christmas. Flying a drone near a prison in South Carolina can get you 30 days behind bars. Dropping contraband into a prison can get you 10 years. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Over the decades, Eagles guitarist Joe Walsh has collected band gear and memorabilia from his days in the studio to moments on tour. Walsh has since decided to auction it all off to help veterans.
Woo! Gosh, I want to keep this.
Joe Walsh at the Troubadour, showing off one of the many guitar sets going up for auction at Julian's Auctions. He's not just cleaning out his closet. This guitar legend is cleaning out his warehouse, and for a good cause.
A substantial part of the money raised is going to go to my organization called Vets Aid. That helps.
Emily Valdez from Odyssey Station KNX in Los Angeles. It's 7:56.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're still busy on northbound 55, the right lanes from Butler Hill up to 270, and then there's a little backup at Green Park to Rivas, and north of Rivas up through Virginia is still slow, and it's slow as you ramp on to 270 from northbound 55, and it pretty much goes all the way up to Ladue. Southbound 270, 364 down to Ladue is pretty busy. Southbound 61, Highway P down onto 64 at the Boulevard, east of 364 through Winghaven, a little slow at the Boone Bridge, coming out of the valley to Timberlake, and from Spady through the Interbelt is pretty crowded. South 170 bogs down at the Woodson Overpass in stretches down to 64. Westbound 64 Science Center out to Clayton Skinker jammed. It's slow to Big Bend after that. Eastbound 70 still a little slow. Wentzville Parkway area into 64. Around Lake St. Louis Boulevard, K to TR Hughes. And 270 into the airport's pretty busy. Southbound 79, Dyer down to Hackman. Westbound 64, 70 split to the Poplar is stop and go. From the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump hits the road today to tout his economic plans and his new $12 billion bailout for farmers suffering the effects of his global trade war and tariffs. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
As we head into a midterm election year, polls continue to show the president's handling of the economy earning poor marks, down to 36% approval in our most recent CBS News poll. That's partly why he's headed out on the road today to Pennsylvania to start addressing concerns about affordability. He said over the last 2 weeks that concerns about affordability are a hoax. On Monday, though, he said Democrats are to blame for higher costs, to preview perhaps what we might hear a little later today.
They're bracing for another winter storm in the Midwest. CBS meteorologist Rob Marciano is tracking the system.
Minneapolis, really the cutoff line here. South of Minneapolis, a mixture of rain and snow. North of heavy snow, possibly up to 6 or so inches. And the winds behind this thing are no joke. So be aware of that. Chicago, Detroit, you may be in the more warm sector there, but the wind's going to be heavy. And this will get to the Northeast as we go through tomorrow as well.
It's cold in the Northeast, by the way. 16 in Boston, 7 in Binghamton, New York, 21 in Philly. The Supreme Court is scheduled to hear a case this morning about campaign spending limits. Correspondent Jan Crawford from Washington.
This is a case that I think would be very important for the political parties if the court would remove this kind of coordinated spending limitation, which in some ways, some people think the political parties have kind of gotten pushed aside in some of these more recent campaigns because you can just give unlimited amounts to big super PACs.
Someone dropped a delivery of steak, crab legs, and marijuana from a drone into a prison yard in South Carolina.
Guards at the Lee Correctional Institution spotted spotted the drop and seized the contraband. The steak and crab legs were still in their grocery store packaging. There were also plastic baggies of pot and 2 cartons of cigarettes. The South Carolina Department of Corrections posted a photo of the loot on social media with the hashtag Contraband Christmas. Flying a drone near a prison in South Carolina can get you 30 days behind bars. Dropping contraband into a prison can get you 10 years. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Australia has just enacted the first social media ban for kids under the age of 16, locking thousands of teenagers like Noah Jones out of platforms, including Instagram and TikTok.
As young Australians, we will be completely silenced and cut off from our country and the rest of the world with this ban.
Social media companies now face fines of up to $33 million if they don't purge their platforms of Aussie-based accounts that belong to the under 16 set. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies, 36 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, December 9th. I'm Megan Lynch.
City to do violence to one of our officers, I have this to say. You will be identified. You will be hunted. You will be located, and you will be brought to justice.
Granite City Police Chief Gary Brooks at yesterday's news conference held to announce charges filed against the man suspected of wounding one of Brooks' officers Friday. 26-year-old DJ Marshall of Granite City faces numerous counts, including attempted murder of a police officer. Madison County State's Attorney Tom Haynes said if convicted, Marshall could spend the rest of his life behind bars. As for wounded officer Tyler Timmons, he's making good progress in his recovery, according to Chief Brooks. The Jefferson County Council voted unanimously last night to receive a $400,000 grant to address safety issues at Rockford Park. The grant comes from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The proposed plan for the money includes adjusting the dam or possibly removing it. According to the High Ridge Fire Protection District, there have been 7 deadly drownings at Rockford Park since 2014. Firefighters have responded to 29 water rescue calls during that same time. The Mardi Gras Mayor's Ball will return to City Hall for the first time since COVID hit. With it comes a new charitable cause.
The city is announcing the funds raised by the Mayor's Ball will go towards the Tornado Impact Fund instead of the usual community improvement grants for Soulard. President of the Mardi Gras Foundation, Mac Bradley, says this decision is backed by Soulard's local leaders.
People in the Soulard neighborhood recognize that the tornado is a once-in-a-generation calamity for the city, and this is our opportunity to do our part. So they were all very supportive.
The Mayor's Ball has generated $650,000 in charitable givings in 24 years. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Skeptics said the city of St. Louis's guaranteed basic income program wouldn't make any type of meaningful change in people's lives. But if you ask one of the 540 families who received $500 a month, they would disagree. Stacy Phillips is a member of one of those families.
I am now employed with the city of St. Louis, and I am a gardener for the city of St. Louis. Yes, I love it very much because who deserves my service more than St. Louis? It has changed my life, like fundamentally.
The Guaranteed Basic Income Program was launched by former Mayor Tashara Jones and lasted for 18 months. As to bringing back the program, that has not been ruled out. Many volunteers still needed in the long-term recovery of the May tornado. Rick Skinner is vice president of the Volunteer Center at the United Way.
Volunteers are so critical to make sure that people that need resources, whether that is food or other basic needs, or volunteers just helping to reorganize and repackage food donations in all different types of ways.
To help, you can go to stlvolunteer.org and find a holiday volunteer guide that has different types of opportunities.
Even opportunities you can accomplish at home or virtually to make a difference without having to leave your front doors.
A Missouri lawmaker has filed an extreme risk gun removal bill. Representative Steve Butt's measure would allow people living in the same house to seek a court order to get a gun temporarily removed from someone who poses an immediate danger. The St. Louis Democrat says he thinks he'll get bipartisan support by narrowly defining who can get the court order. Cases of norovirus have been surging ahead of schedule this year. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Norovirus is also known as the winter vomiting disease. Usually these cases spike following Christmas and New Year's. However, this year, the CDC reports the number of norovirus cases has already notably increased over this time period last year. Norovirus is highly contagious and is responsible for nearly 60% of foodborne illness in the United States. Proper hand washing is one of the keys to prevention, as is avoiding raw shellfish, thoroughly washing fruits and vegetables, and carefully cleaning contaminated surfaces. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. After 30 years at Alton Square Mall, Olga's Kitchen will close at the end of the month. But if you're a fan of the Michigan-based Greek-American eatery, it's not the end. Olga's will operate inside Max in downtown Alton. According to the Business Journal, Olga's sales were good at the mall, but because it was the only location outside its home base in Michigan, it required too many resources. Max is also planning a new location in Belleville. We'll get a check of traffic and weather coming up. It's 8:08.
Listen up, Missouri. If you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is rolling in the Show Me State, and they are kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether you're betting football or basketball or hockey or whatever it is, you can do it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Download the FanDuel app today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement, because it has been a lot of fun since it's been live and rolling in the state of Missouri. It is time to play your game with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
I get asked a lot on when's the best time to buy a furnace or an air conditioner. And my response always is, with us, it doesn't really matter. I don't mark your prices up because it's cold or it's hot. But with the tax credit that's expiring at the end of the month of December for 2025 and 0% interest on all of our products right now. So you get 0% through the month of December on the majority of what we offer you, furnaces or air conditioners or both. That's a big savings to you. That makes it really, really affordable, not just because it's Christmas or anything like that. It's just if you can eliminate interest, that's a lot of money a month that you save. So if you're in the need for a furnace or a furnace and air, call me. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or Bart Inman, that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 8:10. Let's talk now about what's happening on the roads. Roger Brand has the latest for you from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got slow traffic out west, Megan, southbound 79 coming down into the St. Paul area. There's still some traffic down through Hackman. It's not as bad as it was, obviously, but it'd be half the delays. Southbound 61 also better. Wentzville Parkway, though, it's slow all the way to 364 and east of there through Winghaven. Still a little slow down at the Boone Bridge through the Chesterfield Parkways and from Spady all the way through the Interbelt. The Interbelt, there's a couple of slowdowns from Olive to Delmar, and then the Parkway to 64, westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley's heavy, South 270 approaching Olive down to 64 is busy, North 270 from just north of 55 all the way up to Ladue is still slow the whole way through, 55 from Bayless up to River to Pears on the brakes, east and westbound 70, it looks like we have an eastbound incident, a crash near Shreve, there's a westbound slowdown there, and eastbound 70 actually has slow traffic coming in from the Cool Valley area in addition to that run Earth City into the airports. There's a couple of delays on 70. Westbound 64 still backed up to the Poplar, and eastbound 64, 50 through Green Mountain stop and go through that construction zone. We also have, looks like an incident at the Missouri end of the Chain Rocks Bridge, westbound 270. It's jammed back to the Canal Bridge for folks in Madison County. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And sun today. It'll be breezy this afternoon, but it's not as cold. High 54. Cloudy and breezy tonight with a late night shower and a low near 40. Then windy and cooler tomorrow. We'll have clouds and sun with a stray flurry. The morning high 44. Then temperatures fall into the 30s. Rather cloudy and chilly. High 40 on Thursday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We do have sunny skies this morning, a change from yesterday. 37 degrees degrees in Florissant, 37 in St. Peters, and 36 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. The transition of oversight of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police from local to state control is underway. In June, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe named his appointments to that state board. They need to win approval of the state senators in the district, and tonight they'll take part in a town hall hosted by Senator Stephen Roberts and Senator Carla May. Senator Roberts joins me now by phone. Good morning and welcome to KMOX.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Just to start off, can you explain for all of us how the process works for final approval of the governor's picks?
Right. So he appointed the commissioners. They're considered interim appointees. So by the end of our January, they have to be confirmed by the Senate. And the tradition of our legislature is that each senator who has one of the nominees, they have to actually sponsor them. So that's on the Gubernatorial Appointments Committee, which I serve on. So each of the commissioners, except for the mayor, who's the only elected representative, will have to be confirmed by the Senate to be formally sworn in.
So I'm assuming then that this town hall tonight that you and your fellow Senator Carla May are hosting is part of that process to see if you want to endorse them?
That's correct. So, with these appointees, there really hasn't been an opportunity for the public to ask questions or vet them or kind of express any of their questions or concerns. So the goal is to provide a forum to really let the community be heard and learn more about each of the members the governor selected.
What do you want to hear from these commissioners?
I want to hear a cognizant plan as far as how we're going to address crime in the city of St. Louis. The biggest issue that I run into with constituents, whether it be from the business community, local town halls like the ones that we're hosting, or neighborhood association meetings, it's addressing crime in the city of St. Louis and the impact that has throughout the community. So I would really like to hear, how they plan to address that critical issue in our city.
Yeah, because one of the arguments against this was that, for example, the record in Kansas City under state control has not been great, that violent crime hadn't really been curbed, that the police force still had chronic staffing issues. Are those two of the things that you are concerned about with this commission coming in?
Yeah, and that's unfortunately been an issue that the police department has continually faced, officers moving to the county and joining their police department. So, I think each of the commissioners do have a passion for the city of St. Louis and seeing it grow, but I really want to hear more about their plans and really be able to articulate how things are going to be different now.
A lot of business people in this group. Do you believe they're qualified to oversee a police department?
Well, I hope to learn more about that this evening. I've had the chance to meet each of them. I'm familiar with their work within the community, but I'd really like to learn more kind of about their plans and really to kind of hear back from the community.
Are you concerned about some, I don't want to call them red flags that people have raised, but about the makeup, the diversity or lack thereof on the commission?
I am. You only have one person of color, and besides the mayor, who's the only elected member, one woman. There's only one woman who's been nominated by the governor as well. So, I would have liked to have a more active role in that, and Senator May as well, as far as selecting these members for such an important position. So I think that those concerns are legitimate.
Do you agree with opponents of this takeover who are concerned about how this could impact the city budget because of the minimum funding requirement that is part of this?
Yeah, I think that's a fair concern, and hopefully we can get more into it today.
Was Chief Tracy invited to the town hall?
Yes, he was.
Do you know if he's accepted, if he will be there?
I believe he will be there, yes.
Okay. Are you concerned that this could reverse some of the work that Chief Tracy has done?
The governor and myself, I think he's been doing a great job in the city. I'd like to see him stick around. I hope the commissioners share that same viewpoint, but that's one of the questions I intend on asking them tonight.
So what do you want to see continue that you've seen Chief Tracy implement?
I think being able to have a department that, it's really frustrating kind of for me as a state level elected official, kind of this continual attack on the city of St. Louis from the state. With our new mayor, with the new chief, we've been trying to kind of change that narrative. So I'd like to continue to see those efforts develop between both the local and state levels.
So again, just to wrap us up, Senator, what issues do you feel like you want the state appointed board to tackle first?
So for me, really, it's more about hearing the concerns of the folks that I represent in the city, making sure that they believe that these folks are qualified to do the job. So for me, it's a listening session that I'm glad to moderate to really address what the citizens of St. Louis want to see.
Does it give you some gratification that these are local individuals that are on this commission, that they do know the St. Louis community?
It does, and that was one of the things that we had to negotiate. With the original bill, there was no Senate confirmation process. It was the Police Officer Association selecting their members, more similar to how our judges are elected. You send the names to the governor, and the governor only picks from those lists of names. So this way, we're still able to maintain some local control by having these members be required to be confirmed by the Senate.
All right. And Senator, finally, if you could just give us some of the details so that people who are interested can attend tonight.
Absolutely. So it'll be this evening from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Harris-Stowe University in the Henry Givens Jr. Auditorium. I just encourage people to come out, and we'd love to see them there.
Wonderful. Really appreciate you taking time to join us this morning on KMOX.
My pleasure. Have a great morning. Thank you.
You as well. That is Senator Stephen Roberts joining us this morning here on KMOX. And again, that meeting is tonight, Harris-Stowe State University, Henry Givens Jr. Administration Building. That's room 112 where the auditorium is, and it starts at 6 o'clock this evening. Still ahead on Total Information AM, there's a new report out about what kind of devices, internet-connected devices, homeowners like to have in their spaces. CBS News tech contributor Ian Scherr is going to join us in just a few moments. Also, I'll be joined by Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates. The Fed is meeting this week, and it could be a pretty contentious meeting. Some of the Fed governors have been pretty outspoken over the course of the last couple of months. We're going to get his take on what might happen. And then the Supreme Court is looking at a pretty significant case that could dictate what kind of reach the executive branch of our government, basically the White House, the president, has when it comes to independent agencies that oversee some federal actions. And we're going to be joined by CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum before the bottom of the hour. Let's get a check now of the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We still got a lot of slow traffic, Megan. This traffic reports a service of Financial and Tax Strategies. It's getting better, but eastbound 70, still some slow stuff east of Bryan Road through TR Hughes, a little busy at the airport. And we have a jam coming in. We had that crash east of Kings Highway, so we're backed up, or we're slow approaching Lucas Hunt, but it jams by the time you get to Jennings Station on eastbound 70. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway onto 64, all the way through Winghaven, almost midway into K. It's just kind of busy. There's a little slowdown east of Mason. There's slow stuff from Spady all the way through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's heavy. Southbound 270, 364 down to Ladue. Slow north 270, approaching Tesson Ferry to 44. Pockets where it backs up from 44 to Big Bend, but again, it's still slow all the way up to Ladue. Northbound 55, Union Road overpass up to River de Pears, busy. Westbound 64, Bought of the Poplars, heavy. It looks like we have a train crossing Route 3 at Queenie. You're backing up south of Jerome, and there's roadwork delays eastbound 64 from 50 past Greenmount. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's probably going to feel kind of balmy to you this afternoon compared to the weather that we've had. We're expecting a high of 54 degrees. We'll have a mix of clouds and sun and some breezy conditions this afternoon. It will be breezy tonight as well. We could see a shower in spots late with an overnight low of 40. And then tomorrow, windy and cooler, a mix of clouds and sun. We may see a stray flurry in the morning hours, a high of 44. And then throughout the day tomorrow, temperatures are going to fall into the 30s. For Thursday, cloudy, chilly, a high only near 40. Right now, we have sunny skies, 36 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing your checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
by opening our new state-of-the-art patient tower, designed specifically with heart patients in mind. By combining the latest technology with thoughtful design and private rooms, heart patients can experience faster healing, reduce stress, and improved outcomes. Learn more at barnesjewish.org/heart.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-999-3339. That's 800-999-3339. Again, that's 800-999-3339.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch, and a new survey shows that 1 in 5 people say they can't imagine life without smart home devices. Let's talk about it more with CBS News tech contributor Ian Scher. Ian, thanks for joining us. This study just came out today. What's it tell you about how we're using these internet-connected devices in our homes?
Yeah, I think what was really interesting was that this survey was really trying to cross-cut across a bunch of different age groups. And one of the things that they found was that a large number of us have smart technologies in our homes. The number was almost 70%. But what was interesting about it was that they included smart TVs and those kind of little Echo Dot devices that many of us got for Christmas and the holidays over the years. And what was interesting is that they found that even though a majority of people who were surveyed knew that smart devices and more of them could help to save energy costs and whatever else, that the price of buying those things was still very high and too high for them to really do that. So a smart thermostat or even smart light bulbs or switches or stuff like that, people said that they were interested, but that cost is a real kind of barrier for them.
When it comes to what people are wanting to buy, what are some of the top items?
Yeah, so it's probably no surprise that the typical stuff that you hear about when it comes to these things comes up, right? The smart light bulbs, the security cameras, and whatnot. I think what was also kind of interesting in all of this data is that that aside from the cost thing that was holding people back, one of the other things that came up was the issue around privacy and whether or not they feel like they can trust these companies. And interestingly enough, the smart cameras and the smart kind of doorbells and all of that have been a center of a privacy concern for many people. So even though, again, there's kind of this interest in it, when you start kind of putting together the two different types of stuff that people are interested in, they kind of overlap with these problems.
Ian, do you feel like over the years that these devices have been introduced, security has gotten better for them as far as, outsiders being able to hack into systems?
Yeah, I think it's become at least more of a conversation. I think when they first came out, a lot of people didn't really understand the possibility of how bad this could get. And I remember probably about more than a decade ago, there was this website put together that was called Instacam. It was short for Insecure Camera. And what it was is that someone had used a computer program to search the entire internet and find as many of these video cameras as they could find that were on a generic password. And they were able to find thousands in people's homes. And literally all you had to do was click a button, and suddenly you're in the middle of someone's living room in Hong Kong, or in someone's front door in London. It was really unsettling. And none of these people were aware that those cameras were actually not secure. And that pushed a lot of the industry to change the way they did things. But there's still issues. We just had recently, we're having more AI being introduced into toys now. And some of the first AI teddy bears, for example, are coming out. And researchers are finding that those have security problems and privacy issues. And they're not even being controlled for what they discuss with children, which imagine, it can get really unsettling very quickly.
Ian, thank you. Really appreciate you bringing this report to light for us this morning.
Absolutely.
That is CBS News tech contributor Ian Sherr joining us here on KMOX. It's 8:28, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina, your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
From the moment he joined KMOX in 1946, Rex Davis became one of the most trusted and authoritative news voices in St. Louis. His commanding delivery and journalistic integrity helped define the station's identity for decades. His work on Total Information AM, alongside Bob Hardy, made it one of the most successful morning news programs in the nation. At its peak, heard by an astonishing 33% of the local radio audience.
This is Rex Davis. I'm asking you to join me for a special KMOX radio program in celebration of Independence Day, 1964.
But Rex also had a lighter side. His playful exchanges on the Jack Carney Show revealed the humor behind the headline voice listeners trusted. Rex Davis, a KMOX pioneer.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
Staples presents an easy holiday.
My holiday list was a mile long.
Fa la 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 boo hoo hoo.
Staples made it easy with big savings on tech gifts.
I'm listening.
And I saved big on custom holiday cards, too. Plus, Staples has UPS shipping in store.
Holy flying reindeer. Shop Staples today for 50% off custom cards, invites, wrapping paper, labels, stamps, and photo gifts.
That was easy.
In store and online expires 12/20. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
8:30, we owe you another check of the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We got a couple of crashes out there right now, Megan. This traffic reports a service to the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. One of them is westbound 270 on the Chain of Rocks Bridge. Traffic's jammed back through Route 3. And then the other one as you come into the city on eastbound 70. First of all, out west, eastbound 70 is doing pretty well. There's some slow traffic both sides of 270 and around Lindbergh toward the airport. But then we're jammed between Bermuda and Lucas Hunt into this crash in the city. Eastbound 70 right near Shreve. Only the right shoulder is getting by. Now, this is in the local lanes, eastbound 70. So once you get to Union, you can jump in the express lanes and get around the crash, but you have to get to that point, obviously. Westbound 70 Gawkers are backed up around the bend near Adelaide. Westbound 64, Hampton headed out to Hanley's heavy. Eastbound 64 is still slow, coming off 61, so Wentzville Parkway to the Boulevard, east of 364 through Wing Haven, and then from 270 all the way into Big Bend. South 270, 364 to Ladou's, busy. North 270, Chestnut Ferry all the way up to Ladou's, slow. Northbound 55, Bayless up to River to Pear, westbound 64, 70 splits of the Poplar, and eastbound 64 delays between 50 and Greenmount. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, not quite as cold today, a mix of clouds and sun and breezy this afternoon. Expect a high of 54. It's going to be overcast and breezy tonight with a shower in spots late, an overnight low of 42. Right now we have sunshine, 36 degrees downtown at the Arch. Scientists say they have found a very large window into the Cretaceous period.
Across Bolivia's windswept central highlands, researchers have discovered a series of rather large three-toed footprints. Huge, actually, and lots of them.
And it's the largest accumulation of tracks in the world.
More than 16,000. They were left by theropods, the dinosaur group that includes Tyrannosaurus rex.
We started with one area.
Paleontologist Roberto Biaggi co-authored the study in the journal PLOS ONE.
These led into another area, and you could connect them all. And eventually we ended up with 9 different areas.
The prints in what appear to have been ancient waterways serve as a record of dinosaur behavior, including awkward attempts to swim. I'm Ben Thomas.
We have your money report coming up, and then a little bit later, we're going to talk with Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates. A pretty important meeting of the Federal Reserve this week to determine whether there's going to be another cut in interest rates. It's 8:33.
Major League Baseball's winter meetings are underway in Orlando, and all eyes are on Chaim Bloom with expectations he'll be busy.
I do think it's going to be a busy couple of weeks. Now, we don't have anything up our sleeves right now that's about to drop. I think you'll see things escalating as we get closer to the winter meetings.
KMOX will be reporting live from the winter meetings. Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne will bring you exclusive reports with updates, access, and breaking news you won't hear anywhere else. Your home for St. Louis Cardinals coverage. KMOX.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Your money report now, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Small business owners are a little more optimistic about the future as we head into the holidays. According to the National Federation of Independent Business, sentiment reached a 3-month high in November on a brighter outlook for sales. And that's good news for the labor market. Close to 20% of small companies say they plan to create new jobs in the next 3 months. The Federal Reserve kicking off its 2-day meeting later today. An interest rate cut is expected tomorrow. And pink slips are being handed out at Pepsi. The drinks and snacks giant is planning job cuts and instructed a number of employees to work remotely this week. Companies in recent years have frequently requested staff to work from home ahead of layoff announcements. Pepsi is also looking to reduce its product lineup by 20%, but didn't specify which items it plans to remove from the grocery shelves. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It's Tom Ackerman, Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. Your premier Genesis dealer, Genesis of St. Charles. Now is the time to visit. It's the signature event at Genesis of St. Charles. They want your trade, and they're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase. No games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing. Unlock the e-price today by going to genesisofstcharles.com, and you'll find that every purchase, every one, comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. And let me tell you, luxurious service at their state-of-the-art facility, 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. It's Genesis of St. Charles. You can get started online at genesisofstcharles.com, but I do highly recommend that you come into the dealership. It's fantastic. genesisofstcharles.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan along with Dr. Colleen Bosler and Dr. Adam Voss at the Audiology Center. When was the last time you really enjoyed a conversation without straining to hear?
Charlie, so many people think hearing aids just make things louder.
But that's old technology. Today's hearing aids do so much more.
Exactly. With the dual chip technology, our hearing aids actually separate the speech from the background noise.
Which means at a noisy restaurant, you'll hear your friends and family, not the clinking dishes.
And the best part, your brain doesn't have to work overtime trying to fill in the blanks.
So that keeps your mind sharp, your conversations easy, and your relationships stronger.
Because hearing well isn't just about sound, it's about staying connected.
Thanks, Doctor. Call the Audiology Center today to schedule your annual hearing evaluation. Don't miss another moment. Call 636-441-7470 or visit the audiologycenterstl.com.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
This is 104.1 FM, KMOX. Here's what's happening. Australia's world first social media ban for children under 16 starts Wednesday, with some critics warning the ban could push kids to less regulated platforms. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has reaffirmed his refusal to cede territory, resisting U.S. pressure for compromise with Russia. And President Trump announcing a massive bailout for American farmers suffering under his global trade war. $12 billion of taxpayer money will be used to keep farmers afloat. It's still pretty busy out there on the roads. Let's get the latest from Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, we still got trouble spots, Megan. This traffic reports the service of Air Comfort Service Incorporated. If you're on westbound 270, they were trying to clear. I can't tell if it's a stall or crash, but I can see it in the right lane. Still out there, westbound 270 on the Chain Rocks Bridge. You're jammed approaching Route 3. Two separate crashes, eastbound 70. The newest one is east of Bermuda, multi-car crash in the left lane, so it's jammed back to Florissant Road. Then you jammed us east of there, so Lucas Hunt all the way in through Shreve. Only the right shoulder is getting bypassed that crash point. Of course, there's a westbound slowdown coming around the Bend at O'Fallon Park, looking at that one in the city. Southbound 170, bogs down at Ladue. Eastbound 64, still busy from in pockets from 70 all the way in through Winghaven. There's a lot of slow traffic there. Then from east of Ballas all the way through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's heavy. South 270, a little slow. 364 midway down to Olive, and then approaching Ladue. North 270, Gravois to Ladue is still off the pace. 55, still a couple of slowdowns. Bayless up through Virginia, westbound 64 3rd Street to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 still a backup between 50 and Greenmount. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From our family at Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation to yours. Happy holidays.
You want to hurry this up, Mark? I'm freezing my baguettes off.
Relax, Grandpa. Air Comfort Service is on their way. Aubrey, you're not doing anything. You want to let me know when they get here?
Honey, her eyes are frozen shut. Thus,
Avoid a 5-alarm emergency with an HVAC system check from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Learn more at aircomfortservice.com.
Looks like we're going to have some more temperate temperatures today. High 54 degrees, breezy this afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. We could see showers in spots late tonight, overcast and breezy otherwise, with an overnight low of 40. And then for tomorrow, windy and cooler, a mix of clouds and sun with a stray flurry, a high around 44. Right now we have sunny skies, 36 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're back with Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch, and the Federal Reserve's 19-member rate-setting committee seems sharply divided over whether to lower borrowing costs again. This week's meeting could be contentious. Joining me now, Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Kate. Stephen, thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
One of the big questions is about the data that the committee has. Are they lacking quite a bit due to the recent government shutdown?
They still are lacking quite a bit of data. We're going to get a little bit of information in just about 15 minutes on job openings, hiring rates, quits and layoffs. But we're not going to get new payrolls data until next week, and we're not going to get inflation data until even later next week.
So then what data is available to help shape this decision?
Well, there are some alternative data sources. So private companies that produce data like ADP, which does a lot of payroll reporting. Those are available, and the Federal Reserve has done their best to collect as much data as they can of what's available. But those private sources are usually, they're helpful, but they're not a replacement for the official Bureau of Labor Statistics data that they want, and they're just not going to be getting it before this meeting.
Some Federal Reserve officials have been very outspoken in recent weeks. What should we read from that?
Well, it's been interesting. The last few Federal Reserve meetings, there has been more vocal disagreement. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Differing opinions is certainly good for discussion. I think we're in a position in the economy where there's a lot of confusing data happening. And that's certainly being voiced by committee members. Nobody's hiding how they feel, which I think in some ways, from a transparency standpoint, is nice to see. But it does mean that there's more disagreement because it's a difficult decision. And we're going to see that borne out in this meeting today and tomorrow. And we'll probably see that there are some dissenting votes about exactly what the committee is going to do. And we'll get more information about that in the press conference afterwards.
Yeah, I've heard in the past the criticism that the committee has taken for being, nearly unanimous in some of its decisions. However, how do markets react to all this if there is a visible divide in the central bank?
Well, you can see how markets react when we get differing sort of voices from the Federal Reserve, whether it's the governors, whether it's the regional Fed presidents across the country. When Jerome Powell spoke at the last meeting, he said that the December rate cut is not a done deal. It's not set in stone, so don't anticipate that that's absolutely happening. And the market reacted slightly poorly for that. But then we saw afterwards, over the next few weeks, that more Fed officials mentioned that they were uncomfortable with the idea of a rate cut, and the market sold off over multiple days and multiple weeks. That kind of a reaction, because it was against expectations, was not too surprising. It was not unsurprising to see. But as we saw that odds of a rate cut, which we're certainly expecting tomorrow, improved, the market has recovered, and there's a little bit more right with the world, so to speak.
How big of a test is this for Fed Chair Jerome Powell?
He's going to be presiding over still 3 meetings in the new year in 2026. So this is not necessarily his swan song, but this is one of the meetings that his ability to build consensus within the committee members is going to be important, because it is going to be a bit of a tight vote. There are a lot of people who are leaning towards no cut. And if that happens, that's certainly going to be a bit of a surprise. Most people, and certainly the market, is expecting a cut today. So if he can build that consensus enough to produce the rate cut, then that's going to meet the market where it is. And then afterwards, he's probably going to, again, talk tough in the press conference about their ability to lean on the data and make decisions based on what they see.
I think it's kind of interesting because we're hearing from some of the Midwest Fed presidents that they kind of want to keep things unchanged at this point. So that will be very interesting. I guess before we let you go, give us just kind of a roundup of what you expect might happen and what are maybe the key things that this committee will be looking at in making their decision.
Well, they're certainly going to be looking at labor data. And one of the factors here in this decision is that labor data is far more available. There are more alternative sources from ADP and Revelio and many other private sources that are producing labor data to replace what we don't have from the official sources in October and November. The fact that those are available, it's hard to ignore those. But we don't have inflation data. We don't have the kind of replacement or alternative data to produce a good sense of what inflation has been doing over the last couple months. And so because labor is more in your face, it's more available, and it's right there, and it's certainly talked about very actively within the nation and from the administration, there is pressure to cut rates than there is to try to maintain them and try to fight inflation. So although affordability is a big conversation point, the cooling job market and people's dissatisfaction with how hard it is to get a job is certainly front and center.
Stephen, thank you so much for breaking this down for us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
That is Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates joining us this morning here on KMOX. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum up next.
I'm Maria Kina. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It's Tom Ackerman. I've known Jim Brennan, the president of McKelvey Homes, for years. They always do it the right way. And the reserve at Wildwood is proving again with incredible home sites moving faster than expected. If you're thinking Wildwood, don't wait. Go to McKelveyHomes.com right now. McKelvey Homes. They've been building trust in St. Louis for over a century. The reserve at Wildwood, their latest, a 50-acre development with walking trails, incredible home sites. They're selling quickly, and when Jim builds it, you know it's done right. McKelveyHomes.com. Move up to McKelvey. Park-like settings, walking trails, top-rated schools, minutes from Wildwood Town Center. McKelvey Homes, now selling the reserve at Wildwood. Again, go to McKelveyHomes.com before they're gone. 1898 is when McKelvey Homes was founded. Missouri's oldest home builder. Move up to McKelvey.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com. KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra and their monumental tour, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, to Enterprise Center December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. TSO, timeless and everlasting. Don't miss the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Lost Christmas Eve, produced by Live Nation. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
The U.S. Supreme Court this week considering the question of whether President Trump exceeded his authority when he dismissed a member of the Federal Trade Commission. Joining us now, CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum. Thane, good to have you back on KMOX.
Always happy to hear your voice, Megan.
So this could overturn a 1935 case that was decided on a case in the early 1900s that basically shielded heads of independent agencies. I think for our listeners, it would be great to have a breakdown of just what legal questions are the justices considering in this case.
So remember, federal agencies, Megan, are part of the executive branch of the government, and the president is the head of the executive branch of the government. So it's his lawyers' arguments before the Supreme Court now and before, this is my department. It's my branch of government. That's what separation of powers means. We're separate. Congress doesn't get to decide when and how I hire and fire people. I decide. They work for me. Congress's position is, yeah, but we created these agencies. Where do you think they came from? We paid for these agencies. Who do you think the money comes from? And we think that they should remain some level of independence because we want people with PhDs who work there and not your crony friends. That's Congress's position, right? So there had been a policy that for most of these agencies, and we're talking about every federal agency, the whole country is run by federal agencies, but they all exist within the executive branch. So there was a general rule that's been in for decades that said, well, the president can fire you, but if it has to be proficient or incompetent or negligent in some way, he can't just decide or she, for political reasons, for any reason, that we want to replace you. And the president's position is, well, that's just ridiculous. If they work for me, they work for me. Now, this is only one of several cases. This whole year, Megan, before the Supreme Court is really about the reach or limitations on presidential powers. So many of the cases basically come down to Donald Trump comes into office, he signs a lot of executive orders, and then everyone goes, wait a minute, he's not allowed to do that. And that deals with issues from immigration to militarizing or domestically the military for domestic purposes, tariffs, right? These cases are all rising out of executive actions. So the Supreme Court was supposed to take a look yesterday. Well, does it make sense that the president should have this kind of maximum power to remove people? There's another case coming up in January with the Federal Reserve. And in that case, there was always the understanding, because it deals with economic policy, that the Federal Reserve should remain independent. But the president wants to remove one of the governors on this. And so we'll see. Yesterday's oral argument seemed like the conservatives on the Supreme Court were willing to say that the president has power to make these hiring and firing decisions. But they may say next month, not with respect to the Federal Reserve. We see that as really requiring its own independence.
That's interesting, because I know that was one of the questions raised. You brought up the word cause. Was this member of the FTC dismissed for cause? And is that something that the justices will even consider?
No, she wasn't. And that's been her argument. And by the way, this happened with a number of the National Labor Relations Board. This is not the first agency. There's several cases out there where Donald Trump moved, precipitously to remove certain agency heads. He would say, for any reason I want, right? And they said, well, no, the Congress has created sort of a tenured position. For instance, like the FTC, this woman, it's a 7-year term, right? I signed a contract. It's 7 years. My 7 years are not up. If I mess up at work and there's cause, all right, I understand. But otherwise, you don't remove senators if they have a 6-year term, could just feel like it. They get to run out their term. So there's a term argument here, because she's saying the term of art they were using yesterday, Megan, was tenured. It's an interesting word, right? As if I have tenure for 7 years, and then you can't mess around with that. But no, there's no evidence that any of these firings and removals with replacement with other people have been for cause. In each instance, it just seemed, I just think we would have a better team if you weren't on it.
When should we expect something final from the High Court?
So normally, the biggest cases, Megan, don't get released until the very end of June, right before July 4th holiday. So we should always know that. If it's a big case, you won't see it until the last week of June, very, very, very early in July, before July 4th. But there's so many of these cases that depend on sort of the operation of federal agencies. These cases might get decided sooner. But, again, the case next month with the Federal Reserve will tip you off as to where the court's going, because it might be, it's my thought, that they might have said everything except the Federal Reserve, the president has authority. But there we think independence is crucial.
Dane, thank you so much. Appreciate your time this morning.
Anytime, Megan. Thank you.
That is CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum joining us on Total Information AM here on KMOX.
A Granite City police officer is expected to make a full recovery after being shot last week. We're going to talk to Mayor Mike Parkinson about that. Also, Matt Pauley is in Orlando, Florida for the baseball winter meetings. We'll check back in with him. I've got John Hancock sitting in with me today, Chris Ranji. The Chris and Amy Show is next on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos. When you drink coffee may be more important than how much or whether you drink coffee. Tulane University research finds those who drank coffee only in the morning had a 31% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease over a 10-year period and a 16% lower risk of dying from any cause compared with people who did not drink coffee. The study relies on self-reported data, so more research is needed. I'm Margie Schaefer.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/now. That's ethos.com/now.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's Tom Ackerman. The holidays are here, and Ted Drew's Frozen Custard has you covered when it comes to premium Christmas trees. They are your holiday destination. A beautiful selection of premium Christmas trees right now at 6726 Chippewa. And as you know, that also comes with all the great treats that you can enjoy at Ted Drew's. Grab yourself a concrete Ted's delicious frozen custard. It pairs perfectly with your favorite holiday treats, so you can take it home. Sold by the quart. It's Ted Drew's. The Christmas tree lot has lush holiday greenery and decor, handmade wreaths, garland, mistletoe, and more. The greenery and the Christmas trees are available while supplies last. Make Ted Drew's part of your holiday tradition. Pick out the perfect tree, enjoy some delicious frozen custard, soak in the spirit of the season. Ted Drew's, where tradition tastes great and the holidays feel right at home.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Let's get a check of the roads now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got that incident blocking, Megan, in the right